Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Break Room Podcast. I apologize for the lateness of our broadcast. We're hitting some technical difficulties. As you can see, we got our buddy Joe remote tonight, so we're trying to iron out some of the kinks for that. And for the initial watchers of last week's stream, we apologize for the audio issues, but we hope you enjoyed that interview with Matt Hill. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Really sweetheart of a guy. I want to thank him one more time for coming on to the show.
Seriously.
Patience of a saint.
Before we get into our discussions, I wanted to take a moment to say rest in peace to Carl Weathers. Funny enough, Carl Weathers was one of the very first celebrities that I knew who their name was because I was such a big fanboy of Rocky as a little kid. I used to watch the original Rocky over and over and over again, and I had really hoped that I would get to meet Carl Weathers one day at one of these conventions and stuff. I regret one of the years that I had stopped cosplaying because of the pandemic, 2021. He was actually at Rhode Island Comic Con, and I know a few people that got to meet him, and incredibly jealous. But he was from what I've heard, just a great guy and a consummate professional. Had a wicked sense of humor and a focused drive. He was, just as responsible for the success of Rocky as Sylvester Stallone himself. I mean, you take any hero, you got to stack him up against a great villain, and what's great about the Apollo Creed character is that, throughout those stories, he ends up becoming, Rocky's best friend, the only person that really understands what Rocky is feeling and is going through, and ultimately trains him to beat Clubber Lang. Then, later in life, he of course, he's, known for Happy Gilmore for his comedy work.
And Predator,
Dylan,
you son of a bitch.
Got you pushing too many pencils.
That's right.
And of course, Grief Karga.
Then Grief, yeah. So now he's, he was in Star Wars.
Mando.
I was
Favorite
so
character?
excited. I was so excited when
Come
I saw
on,
him in
Mando,
Star
do
Wars.
some spice, Mando.
If you told 6-year-old Rob that Apollo Creed would be in Star Wars one day, I would have been so excited. He was one of my favorite actors, and I really, so rest in peace to Carl Weathers, and condolences to his family. We loved you, and we hope you rest easy.
Well, I want
He's
to
gonna
talk about
He's
that
gonna
for a
live
second.
forever.
Because this
It's
now brings
immortalized.
into question, what's going to happen with Star Wars. Because he was such a
Well,
central
Grief
character.
Karga was he kind of told his story. I mean, I could see how they can kind of skirt around him being involved because don't forget, now he's a politician. He took over that area of land and then he
Was it
gave it to the
Navarro?
Mandalorians. So if they tell a story with Mando that doesn't take place where the Mandalorians are basically staying, then they can kind of get away with not mentioning his character. I mean, they fired Cara Dune and never mentioned her again. You know what I mean? It's a little
Yeah.
different because he's not excommunicado. He literally passed away. So
Carl Weathers is one of the few actors in that show that actually fought for Gina Carano.
Yeah.
He's a man of many men who are far forgotten, and it's surreal because as you were talking about him, there's a FanDuel commercial that airs now, and he's in it. He's in it with Gronkowski.
Right.
Yeah, he does the whole Dylan, you son of a bitch. There's the whole handshake. You're pushing too many pencils again, Dylan. You used to be somebody could trust. Man, I loved Rocky. For me, Apollo Creed was the first bad guy that I remember in watching movies as a kid, and the Apollo Creed character was portrayed so well by Carl Weathers that he was so cool and he was so good at his role that you had to make him a good guy.
Right.
So when he finally became a good guy at the end of Rocky 2 and into Rocky 3, where he became, Rocky's trainer, I loved it. To me, till this day, Rocky 3 is my favorite Rocky. How about you, Rob?
the King of Swing, the
Sultan of Symmetry.
the Count of Monte Fisto.
There is no tomorrow, Rock.
Honestly,
There is no tomorrow.
The
Rocky
one,
to
the
this
only.
day is probably one of my favorite movie series of all time.
What's your favorite Rocky movie?
My favorite
1, 2,
Rocky
3, 4,
movie?
5?
It's really tough. As a little kid, here's a funny story. When I was a little kid, I didn't know there was more than one Rocky movie. We had the original Rocky taped off a TV, and I used to watch that over and over and over again.
Taped off a TV.
And I think I was like maybe 8 years old, and I remember seeing a commercial for like New Year's. There was gonna be a Rocky marathon. I was like, what, are they gonna play the same movie over and over? And my mom's like, Rob, you know there's more than one Rocky movie. And I was like, you never told me there was more than one Rocky? That day, we went out to, like, I don't know if it was the Wiz or BJ's, and we ended up getting this fucking VHS box set of all the Rocky movies. And I remember sitting down and watching them all, and I was, what? Mr. T is in Rocky. Hulk Hogan was in Rocky, you know, and then he goes to Russia. He fights the Russian.
That
you know,
was one.
He beats Apollo in 2. Like, it was like it flooded in on me, Rocky, and I was so hyped. The Eye of the Tiger. I used to play it before football games when I played football in high school. I used to have the Rocky soundtrack CD, and I used to bring it in. They used to make me play the Eye of the Tiger. We'll lose anyway, but it helped. And
the Rocky IV. The Rocky IV soundtrack is the one soundtrack that if I'm dead tired in the gym and I have to get through my workout, or if I have to do cardio after my workout and I just don't want to, if you put the Rocky IV soundtrack on, I'll do it. Like I did it tonight just to honor like Apollo Creed and Rocky.
Though his body says stop, his spirit cries never.
So good.
Yeah. No Easy Way Out, man. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. You know, and to this day, that soundtrack will even get my fat ass moving. And
probably the greatest motivating soundtrack. A little more
health conscious lately. I gained a lot of weight lately, and I've been watching. Ironic, it's really crazy that he just passed away, because I literally started watching the Rocky movies on the treadmill. And I made it through the first Rocky, and I started Rocky 2, and then I find out that he passed, and I'm just devastated. But he was a big hero of mine.
The underdog story, man, it's just such a motivator, and, you know, everybody can see themselves in that story. And the fact that he loses in the first, you know, obviously the fact that Rocky loses, it's not the way you would expect a movie like that to go. But once you watch that movie, you are hooked in for the next. Like,
ain't gonna be no rematch. I don't want one.
I can't just watch one. I have to watch one. I got to go to 2, 3. I just have to watch the series because it's, you know, front to back, a great story. It's such a, it draws you in. It has such a motivating element to it. And yeah, to your point, Joe, the heel turn, you know, or the opposite,
the face turn,
the face turn. Yeah.
How cool is it that this guy that you kind of fucking hate the first.
Yeah,
you know,
so
he's
he was
an
cocky. You know, he was like, "I'm going to drop this chump in 3." You know, he wasn't even watching him like punch the meat in like the news report. He just completely blindsided him, and that was based on a real fight. There was a fight with a champion that I think was it Ali? Got
so
hit by,
have you guys ever
unknown,
seen
like in one of the early rounds and knocked him down? And,
yeah, have you guys ever seen the Oscars? The year that Rocky won the Oscar?
Yes.
So, you know, Sylvester Stallone gets on stage and he starts, you know, talking about, you know, his acceptance speech. And behind him, Muhammad Ali comes out. He goes, "You robbed me, fool. You took my script. You took my life. You took my story. I'm the real Apollo Creed chump. Put your hands up. We're going to go right now. 10 rounds with the real heavyweight champion of the world, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. I'm the real Apollo Creed Balboa. What you going to do now?"
And then they kind of sparred off a little bit on the...
Sylvester's tries in his, you know, pointy
you know what they call me, Kid Salami.
Yeah, I saw actually Sylvester Stallone's you know, message.
Yeah,
it was
as I pulled up here. And
heartbreaking.
Yeah, you know, obviously it's devastating. It does feel like it was out of nowhere. I know he was in his 70s, but it just it wasn't one of those situations where it was like, oh, we haven't seen him in a long time, and he died. He just
directed something recently. It's not even, you know, he had his faculties. He was, as far as we know,
he seemed very sharp. He
was active, you know.
It's definitely one of those shocking losses, and for him to be connected to such key things that we love, you know, I don't know if it gets more iconic than the, you know, Dylan, son of a bitch. He's one of the all-time
forever immortalized.
He is
for
immortalized.
Rocky, for Predator, for Mandalorian now, so young people get to see him. He's forever immortalized.
Well loved, well respected.
And
rest in peace, Carl
rightfully
Weathers.
so. Yeah,
Very
rest in
talented.
peace.
On a little lighter news, I have some more toy reveals. Yay.
Oh, boy.
Robin's plastic addiction strike again. So I haven't showed this off, but I showed off some of the other ones I got. I finally got the animated version of Skeletor that they've been doing, the Filmation series versions of.
Was a Walmart exclusive?
This is not a Walmart. I got this on Big Bad Toy Store.
Okay.
Wait. Hold it up and do the Skeletor. You gotta give the people.
Eternia will be mine. And then I'm very excited because I showed off, and I didn't think I was going to get them this soon, the first wave of the Masters Universe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossovers. So I got the wave 2, and starts off with Beastman and some samurai-looking armor. Very, very cool figure. I wish we can get a tighter shot. Do you think you can give them a tighter shot of that, Chris?
Oh, yeah, tighter. Yeah.
It's a little blurry, but
it'll be better than.
There we go.
Yeah, he's
lean
a
'em
pretty
right on the
sharp,
thing.
pretty sharp-looking figure. I like the colors.
Very cool.
Yeah, why don't
Very
you
cool.
do one of these?
Vibrant.
Next up, one of my favorite Masters of the Universe characters, and they actually gave him a mutated update for this crossover, is Ram Man. But they actually made him a ram. So
Ram Man.
he's got the ram horns on the side, if you want to show him off.
And while he passes that off, I'm noticing on Joe's TV, which is in the background, that Roman Reigns is coming out. The bloodline.
Yes. As soon as Cody comes out, I have to mute my mic and watch this.
Oh,
Let us know what's happening there.
and then
Pretty cool. Hold on. Get that on there. You better off. Ram Man.
Yeah, Ram Man.
Ram Man.
Cool looking figure. A much anticipated figure is the enemy himself, the Shredder.
Ooh.
This is the Shredder from that line.
Give us the line.
Idiots, I will dine on turtle soup. And then we're going to show that off, but last but not least, Joe's going to be very excited to see this one up close. We got, now with this release, 3 of the 4 turtles. This is the Raphael figure from this line. There's only 2 or 3 figures from this wave that I was not able to get my hands on. I believe they are store exclusives. They're making a Mauser Trap Jaw figure that is a Target exclusive. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my hands on one because I know they're going to fly off the shelf. Trap Jaw is a very popular character, and the Mausers and the whole crossover, I'm sure they're flying off. They also made a mutated, what's his name? The guy that smells like evergreen. Do you remember his name?
Stinkor?
Not Stinkor. The opposite of Stinkor. The green guy, the plant guy. He's basically Swamp Thing from.
Yeah, I know. And he had that texture.
He had the flocked cover. I can't think of his
I
name.
don't remember.
I'm an asshole.
Merman? No, not Merman.
No, that's the water guy. Wow. See, that's what happens when you smoke weed.
Wow, freak out!
Wow. Wow, freak out.
Just I have to remark on this. He's still coming to the ring.
Oh,
Still.
what is it,
Yeah, I
Undertaker?
mean,
Fucking
4
slow.
hours later.
And then there was another one that was released that I think there's a Krang that's coming as well, but I haven't gotten my hands on him yet. I think he's going to be a store exclusive. It's going to be a deluxe figure with a bigger box, just like the Mauser Trap.
Do you want me to play the audio when Cody comes out, or mute my mic?
No, don't
Yeah,
play
we'll
it.
get
It's not
get
gonna sound good.
copyright striked.
Help!
I mean, yeah,
But,
maybe when he's talking.
I'm excited about the Turtles figures. They're very cool. I waited. I can't believe they're doing that crossover. It's blowing my mind. So I'm gonna definitely open one of the Shredders and one of the Raphaels because I got doubles of just those figures. And I'm waiting for Mikey. I really want my Mikey, my Michelangelo. And another thing that I actually didn't show off on the show, but I've had next to me for a couple of shows.
Showed them off.
Did I show them off?
Yeah,
Did I
you
tell
did.
anybody about
Yeah,
them?
You did.
We
I
got
got
a
my,
whole feature on
I got my
the
swords
katanas
next
there.
to me. The Zorro swords join me when Joe's not here.
Oh.
It's a little easier to prop up than the Bret Hart standee.
See if if I could. Yeah, there you go. There's the swords. We got a
And
scene for the
there,
swords.
there they are. Yeah.
Rob's arm is not that long, but it looks like he's reaching through Joe.
I'm reaching through Joe to grab my swords. You know.
It's kind of fun. Yeah, we got some new scenes here that we're trying out. It's like the Brady Bunch. We got.
Yeah, where's Alice? You know. But speaking of
Straight to the
wrestling,
moon.
there's been some insane wrestling world news.
Well, so let's preface this too. This all like I'm pretty sure it started unfolding while we were interviewing Matt Hill. That's why we didn't want to focus on any of the drama that's going on right now.
Exactly.
With the whole Vince McMahon allegations, and there's also some other big things. I mean, that Raw is on Netflix now. Vince has stepped down, so lots of changes.
The interesting thing was that all this news broke on the weekend of Royal Rumble.
Yes.
It had the risk of overshadowing part of the show.
And the day before the Royal Rumble, Slim Jim, who was the primary sponsor, I mean, they literally, if you watch the Royal Rumble,
It's the whole thing.
The
ring.
they have a whole sweepstakes that you could actually win some race car, a Slim Jim race car, and actually they aired the commercial during the Royal Rumble, but when you tried to go to the site was still deactivated. Because Slim Jim said, we're pulling out. We don't feel comfortable doing business with them. And then Slim Jim pulled out. And then, I don't even know how, it was 30 minutes later or within an hour or two later, Vince stepped down. And then Slim Jim was like, all right.
Beef, spice,
little
little excitement. Step into a Slim Jim. Ooh, yeah.
Wow! Yeah! Step into a Slim Jim!
So
that's actually what the sweepstakes is you just do a Macho Man impression and talk about Slim Jim, and apparently you gotta get Rob. Rob's gonna win a car. I didn't want to tell Rob about it because I want it. Rob's gonna get it.
Imagine if I get the Slim Jim car.
I've watched Rob out Macho Man every Macho Man cosplayer we've ever met. Every single time.
When a fat guy can out Macho Man someone, that's when you know he can do a good
Fat
Macho
Man.
I'll just have to be Lanny Poffo, I guess.
Lots of wrestling news, many ways to approach it. Do we start with Vince because it's ugly?
When Cody goes, I'm gonna mute myself.
All right, let's open with the ugly because I want to talk Royal Rumble a little bit. We didn't even talk about it. There was a lot that happened, a lot that sucked, and we're obviously in the lead up to. We're on the road to WrestleMania, which is our Super Bowl here at the Break Room Podcast.
Oh yeah.
So Joe, you're probably the best suited to. Maybe give us as much of this Vince news as we can take without getting shut down here.
I mean, a lot of people have been reading, graphic text message that was sent between Vince and his employee and some other, talent and some other employees of the WWE. When you first saw it, when you first sent it in our group chat, I was like, I don't know about this. I was reading it and I was looking at the way he's typing some of the wording, and he says you and he spells you with just a U and not Y-O-U. I'm like, why would a 70-something-year-old man who's educated spell like this?
Could be trying to be hip.
It could be. He's maybe it's just like text. That's how you text. That's how you type when you text. But it just was weird, man. Cody's coming out in there. God damn it. It's all right. We can catch the replay. I'll figure it out.
I would say, you know what? I want to see what Cody's got to say, dude.
You want to see what he's...
It's better to... Yeah, man.
When he gets in the ring, I'll unmute it because you don't want to get copyrighted with
music. That'll take us down.
Well, yeah, some of the allegations that have come out with Vince have been pretty outlandish.
Can we actually go around the room and just give a yes or no whether you think he's guilty of all that or not? We start with you, Chris, since you're the Vince McMahon Mac Daddy enthusiast.
Oh man, it's tough to say, man. It's.
Well, what does your instincts tell you? What's your gut tell you?
Doesn't want to say.
I don't know. No, I mean, it's first and foremost, it's obviously very, very poor judgment in any event. I mean, if I was a billion, I already lived my life as if anybody could look at my phone at any point and see whatever the fuck about me. Yeah. If I was a billionaire, I would almost expect something like this to happen sooner. Yeah. It's just, I guess what I struggle with is that it's so outlandish and like gratuitous and lecherous and like just so bad that it's like it's almost hard to believe that it could be that, you know, ridiculous. And you know, ultimately it's got to play out in court.
It's definitely a fucking stupid move. And my whole thing is like, yeah, I get it. You're a billionaire. You're old.
Billionaires.
You're probably bored with normal sex,
Mm-hmm.
normal things, or you know, any kind of sex, whatever. Probably doesn't do it for you, and you need to start doing some freaky, wild, crazy stuff with shit. And apparently, Vince McMahon has a thing for shit and asses and
You
assholes.
should go out with Amber Heard over there. You know?
You know, but like my whole thing is, if you have, you know, such a, you know, weird, you know,
Proclivity.
tendencies and, you know, sexual, you know, things that turn you on, why don't you just pay for porn stars? Why are you doing this to a fucking employee who can damage you and ruin you and take away everything that you spent the last 60 years building?
Right.
Like, why don't you just get porn stars who would, you know, you can pay them, they'll do whatever you want, like escorts, whatever. Like, what are you doing? Like, what is she like? She's not even like, you know, whatever. Like, what are you doing with her out of all the
kind of quid pro quo situation going on?
I just
it gives
don't
him leverage over her, that he has control over her fate.
And that makes it even sicker, because now you put it in that perspective, and it's almost like he was grooming her for these things, and he was taking advantage of someone who probably needed an income and feared, you know, for losing her job. And again, she's a grown woman. I can't really blame Vince for everything. She made decisions on her own to do things. Like, at the end of the day, it's disgusting. It puts a really bad stink on all the good stuff that's been happening with WWE lately. Like, they just can't catch a break. There's always steroid allegations and allegations and, you know, all this other shit. You know, now they finally
since we had a bad scandal in WWE.
But they were on such a high. And they were kind of, you know, riding on this Netflix and the Rock partnership and TKO merger and all this other stuff with UFC. And this just kind of takes the wind right out of all that sailing.
I wonder if they knew about this, like that this was coming. You know, they did say, you know, in public, because they're a publicly traded company, they did say that, you know, it's possible that there's going to be more stuff about Vince that's found soon. And, you know,
it would make sense, because when we first heard that they possibly wanted to sell the company, he wouldn't just want to sell the company out of nowhere. Like, so it does make sense that, you know, these things started happening last year, little by little.
He was the majority stockholder. I mean, you know, it's his money, it's his shares, it's his company. So I mean, I could see why he'd want to hand in it. But
post Royal Rumble, it was the obvious opportunity for the media to speak.
I'm going to unmute, so you're going to hear the Cody.
Oh, what's going on here? Still playing his music. Still playing his music.
All right, real quick. So in the post.
Here we go. No, go ahead. Keep talking.
Picture in picture.
It's
He
important.
says, what do you want to talk about? I'm gonna fucking.
He's going to say that.
So tired of that line.
So, Alabama, roll Tide.
There it is. There you go.
Hate this catcher. He's got to retire it.
It's his rock intro.
It's not as good.
All right, are we going to listen to this? Because I don't want to talk over him.
I kind of want to hear this, man. What time is it?
I mean, this is the build-up.
So, it's only going to be 10 minutes, so...
Yeah, we're on the road to WrestleMania. It's our Super Bowl. We got to hear this. This is what we've been talking about for the entire past year when we bring up wrestling.
You know, I imagine this conversation
Let's see what Cody says.
a little bit more private. If you'll indulge me, perhaps we can have the ring to ourselves.
Oh. Get the Uso. Get your fucking mouthpieces out of here.
I know.
Is Paul Heyman in there? Yeah, he's in the back there with the belt. Of course he's not. I did see that if Roman doesn't wrestle until WrestleMania and he wins, it would be his 1,000th win.
Who cares?
Not
Who
as
sucks?
champion.
No, ever. It would just be his 1,000th.
So I took a great deal of counsel this week. I talked to friends, family, legends. You know, you cheated me. I had you. More than anybody that you've been in the ring with, I had you, and I think you know it. Seth Rollins, he's made a lot of amazing points this week, but one of them that I disagree with, he called that the Hollywood title.
There we go.
You can call it whatever you want. That's still the title that Bruno Sammartino held. It's still the title that was put into my father's hands in Madison Square Garden and then swiftly taken away.
I saw a rumor for
Again,
a triple
call it
threat
whatever
match
you
for
want.
both belts.
I still want that title.
Still wants that belt. The belt.
Let me ask you, what is finishing the story? Because I've heard you say that all of this, all of it is yours. This ring, the canvas, the ropes, that camera, the announce desk, all these people, you guys belong to Roman Reigns, apparently. So, is finishing the story taking that championship from you? Or is finishing the story taking everything from you? Let me make it
cooking with this road to WrestleMania.
abundantly clear.
I know it's their most
I
popular
want
Oh.
that title.
Oh, there it is. He wants Roman's belt.
Matter of fact, I'm moving my own goalposts. I want that title. I want everything, and I am coming for it. I am coming for you, Roman Reigns.
That's
Coming for you, Hulk Hogan.
But not at WrestleMania.
Oh, what the fuck?
Perth. Is that where they're doing it?
No, no.
I mentioned taking counsel.
Too much time
Is it
between.
The Rock?
Roman, one of the
Too much time between
individuals
now
I
and
talked to,
WrestleMania.
This is terrible.
he knows you
It's April, right?
very
Hold on.
well.
Uh-oh. Rock coming up?
Maybe The Rock.
Oh, this is so stupid.
He said right
So
There he is.
stupid. This is
Rock's
stupid.
coming.
I knew they were gonna do this. Fucking terrible fucking idea.
I don't.
Why?
But we don't know what they're doing. Is he facing him at?
Yes,
fucking-
it's gonna. He just said I don't want to face you at WrestleMania. I told it's gonna be Rock and Roman and Cody and fucking Seth.
But he says I'm taking your title, but not at
No.
WrestleMania.
That's not good enough for me, man.
What's the next thing? The Elimination Chamber?
The next one's the Elimination Chamber. Yeah.
No, he gets
Rock's
his title.
coming.
He's no, this is stupid.
Which
How is he
I
gonna get a
fucking-
title shot when he's gonna cash in his title shot from the Royal Rumble win at WrestleMania?
Take the belt
on
out
Seth
here.
Rollins.
I'd be okay if he takes the belt off of Roman. Elimination
Oh.
Chamber.
They just passed up Cody for The Rock. This is horrible.
Watch.
Terrible.
I bet they give Roman his
Let it play
1,000th.
out.
They'll give him his 1,000th win, and Cody will still get the match at WrestleMania.
It's not happening.
No, what?
You just said it.
I think he's gonna try to face him at Perth. Take the belt off of him before.
No,
Roman
he's not
goes
going to
and
face him
faces
at
The Rock
Perth.
for a non-title
Perth,
match.
the Royal Rumble doesn't give you the match. He doesn't get a title shot at Perth.
Well, he only gets at Mania.
Only if Roman
only
agrees
gets to
to
that
the
Mania, and he doesn't. If he doesn't wrestle Roman, he has to wrestle Seth. This is stupid. They should just do what I fucking said and put Rock and Roman on Saturday and Cody and Roman on Sunday.
I don't want Roman 2 nights though. I really don't need 2 matches with Roman.
Yes, you do.
That'd be
Yes,
good.
you do.
Roman's- nah.
This is a
you
champ,
do.
so at least you wear him down, and then they'll be like,
Yes,
"Well, The
you do.
Rock wore him down, and Cody."
Yeah, but how
Jesus.
many times?
What's
he
the
got-
point
got
of
cheated
having
into the
Rock
ring?
and Roman at WrestleMania if it's not going to be for the title? Rock's not going
I
to win
just-
the title.
I just think there's so many weeks between now and then, though. That fucking
is
Rock
stupid.
could tear his rotator fucking cuff.
This
You know,
is fucking ridiculous.
watch. This is
It's
just.
all CM
This is the swerve.
terrible.
This is the swerve, though.
Well, keep
They're-
in mind,
they're
right
gonna-
now, Seth Rollins is injured. Brock's out of the picture because of all the shit that we were just talking about. We didn't even mention his part in it, or alleged part in it.
He just
Um,
passed up his opportunity for the Rock. Look, it's-
All right, well, let's see. Well, all right, hold on. They got to. This is gonna come. It's actually cool to see them in the ring together, though. This is more passing of the torch. This, I look at it. There you go.
Oh, there you go. The
See?
nice fucking superhero
Hey,
handshake.
give him the big
yeah.
Rock knew Dusty, and I'm sure he loved him. Rock
hell
grew
are
up
you
with
watching?
Dusty, right? As a kid. being around Dusty?
It's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
You fucking ruined Cody's year.
Where is he going?
Told you. Stupid, dude.
It doesn't make. He said he wants that belt. That's the belt he's coming for.
Yeah, but he's coming for it when? Next year's WrestleMania? To wait another fucking year? This is stupid.
There's no way.
This is stupid. This is a mistake. This is a huge mistake.
I'm tired of the high-mindedness where they're like, no, let it play out.
I want to see where it goes. He's the Rock. He's not the chairman of the board, but he's on the board TKO now, right?
Yes.
It would be weird actually to have
is,
somebody on the board fucking wrestling.
No, I mean, hey, Vince McMahon. He's
Oh,
fucking
it's different. It's different.
did all of it.
Oh, we're gonna get a copyright strike for the Rock's team play.
Well, they only have 3 fucking minutes, so.
Oh, probably so degraded in quality that doesn't matter.
Oh, well, now we got
How's
How's this gonna go?
Doesn't really matter.
I thought we wanted this last year, though. Wasn't this conversation Rock Roman last year? Oh, head of the
they put it
table.
off.
What are you saying?
You know,
Didn't work out.
so that's what this is. Oh, and he's holding the belt now. They can't give Rock the belt, though. That's the whole thing I don't understand. So this has to be some kind of
Could I don't think they would.
right. Hey, we just gave the.
Cody clearly said, I'm coming for the belt, but not at WrestleMania. I don't want to see this. I don't want Cody to win that belt on any other show other than WrestleMania. Stupid.
It would mean less.
Well, if he comes in with the belt to WrestleMania,
He's not coming in with the belt. It's not happening.
What if?
What
He's
if
not
he
happening.
wins the title and somebody cashes in on him, and then he wins the title back at WrestleMania?
I'm betting. There's just so much time between now and then. It's April. What, first weekend of April?
It's not happening.
What do you mean?
I'm telling you, I've been watching wrestling fucking 4
I know,
years. It's
I
not
know.
happening.
This isn't awesome. We want Cody.
All right, so Martin says, why not do a triple threat and have Cody get it?
Well, what's the point of him? They're not going to even talk. They're going off the air. They even talk.
It's the end of the show already?
It's over.
Does it say main event WrestleMania?
No.
They're not going to talk? That's weird.
It's the Sopranos, Fade to Black.
I don't understand.
Terrible, bro.
We're left with
That
more
was
questions.
a giant fucking mistake. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I just had a real bad feeling that was going to
We
happen.
still don't know what happened. Even he said.
Are you dense in the head? Are you?
He
I mean,
said
I wanna shut
explicitly, I listened to a lot of counsel, and I want to take that belt, and I want to take everything from you. And then he said, but not at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then he said, I'm going to bring out somebody who knows you very well, and it was The Rock. So what does that
They
mean?
said nothing. It was.
I just told you what it means. It means he's not going to wrestle Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
But
So The
He's
Rock
got
is
a
gonna-
title shot guaranteed to wrestle at WrestleMania for a title, and it's not going to be Roman Reigns' title. It's going to be Seth Rollins. So he's going to either lose to Seth Rollins or he's going to take Seth Rollins' title and do what with it? Like, who cares? Like, that's not the title you want Cody to have. Like, and now you're going to have Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. Cool. It's an attraction. We wanted to see that for a while, but the whole
More
point is to
Roman Reigns.
take that fucking title off of him. He's going to keep the title until September. He's going to pass Hulk Hogan. I mean, clearly that's the direction that they're moving in now, because if it's not going to be Cody, there's nobody else that's going to take that title off him other than Cody. So you're going to have Roman Reigns champion now for another 7-8 months.
You know what? I saw an interesting stat that
People are gonna stop
Cody
watching
has
this.
not
Stop
been.
watching this shit.
So Cody has not been pinned in 2 years. They said since his return, he has not lost a match.
No, he lost to
How
Brock.
did he lose to Brock? Yeah, he lost to Brock somehow
Yeah, he lost to Brock.
last year in the first match that they had.
Yeah, he beat him.
Decisively. I don't remember what. It wasn't by DQ, so.
No, he pinned him.
Yeah, I don't know what their fixation is with this Roman Reigns story. It's like they don't care that the crowd doesn't give a fuck anymore, and they just keep force feeding it over and over and over.
That's what they did with John Cena for 10 years. when
Even
the crowd
fucking
was
Paul Heyman can't save this fucking storyline. You notice you had Paul Heyman, the greatest guy on the mic in the history of the game, and he's saying nothing, just standing there. That should tell you more than you need to know. And it's unfortunate because they have the talent and they have the people to really get them excited. And it's like, Jade Cargill, I feel like it's the best thing to happen in the last 3 weeks.
I'm not gonna start crying yet because we got to let it play out. I don't think that
there's nothing to play out.
They're trying to fuck with us. They're trying to fuck with us. They're trying.
Not fucking with us,
No,
bro.
I didn't think he was gonna win the Royal Rumble because
they
I
have
thought
to
they were
sell
gonna drag
tickets.
this out more.
Listen, they have to sell tickets. The tickets for WrestleMania are readily available, so they have to get something in there. And clearly, Cody and Roman too isn't going to get the job done, so they have to have an attraction like The Rock. It's not going to sell out 2 nights. It's not going to happen. This is a bummer, man.
Left
this is
with
a bummer,
more,
man.
Fucking bummer, man.
More questions than
Bummer, man.
answers.
That's usually the case in the build.
I'm not rushing into judgment yet. I'm holding out that I
already
don't think
passed
I think they're
judgment.
fucking with us. They're fucking with us.
Yep.
They're trying to build suspense.
In what way are they fucking with us, though?
I think the path for Cody was too clear. It was too obvious what they were going to do, and they got to throw some roadblocks and some hurdles in the way. It's just too
How's that a
obvious.
roadblock, though? They
You
just
can't
changed
spend
it.
8
They moved the
weeks-
goalposts.
Yeah,
what do you
but
mean?
you can't. I just don't think you could spend 8 weeks fucking building something that everybody just expects. I just
Well,
think that's the problem.
And again, everything is all up in the air because Punk is injured, Seth is injured, Brock's out of the picture. So
Punk's already injured?
Punk, in the Royal Rumble, he got injured. It's fucking like he
Jesus.
tore his pec, I think, right?
Triceps.
That was triceps, yeah. So, so weird.
That's funny.
So
Who retracted their? I think Hell's retracted his previous statement of the writers are cooking in the comment section there. Good move, Hells.
Yeah, they're
'cause,
fucking
now
cooking
everybody's
fish in the break
pissed.
room is what they're
You
doing.
smell what The Rock is cooking?
I also hate that they just didn't say anything. That's just like.
Yeah, he just walks in, says nothing,
Okay.
and then they fade
So
to
we
black.
watch Roman's entrance is 15 minutes. Cody takes 5 and then says a little, and then Rock takes another 5 to 10,
What a
and then it's
fucking
over.
waste.
It's like 30 minutes of the show is just like.
On a side note, how much do you think The Rock got paid to just walk out to the ring and say nothing?
I mean, at this point,
Well, I mean, he's on the board, and
Yeah.
he
He's
got his
heavily
he got
invested.
paid by getting his own name. That's one of the things too with him becoming
He
one
owns
of
the
the people
owns
in
The Rock
He
now,
owns
yeah,
that
that's-
IP.
That's
what, him and Hulk. Who are the only people to own their?
Hulk Hogan, there was a
Sergeant Slaughter owns
dispute.
his too.
Originally, there was a
Slaughter.
dispute, and they weren't able to call him the Incredible Hulk Hogan, so they had to say the Immortal Hulk Hogan, if I recall.
And then when
correctly.
he left,
Yeah.
he was still Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was Hulk Hogan in
WCW.
WCW, and then he became Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
So
I mean,
he
just-
owns it. Okay. Well, I don't know. I just think there's so much lead up and time into this that they're gonna make people feel the way we feel right now. That's their job. You feel a little disappointed. You don't get what you expect.
That's not how they do things.
No.
No. If to sell tickets, you have to start promoting this event that's going to possibly have 70,000 people or plus times 2 on 2 nights. You have to start building a card. The WrestleMania card is usually an 8-week process to start building up and drawing in the crowds and building hype for it. So they're showing you their cards, and you can say whatever you want. You can say that they're teasing or they're pulling their change, but they're not. Cody would not come out and say not at WrestleMania if he was going to wrestle him at WrestleMania. Like, what's going to change that goalpost
Right.
to where he's all of a sudden now going to want to wrestle Roman at WrestleMania?
Well, he fucking at the Royal Rumble pointed at Roman. It was already set. He pointed to Roman.
Because they thought they were going to have Seth Rollins and CM Punk. So here's the other thing.
Oh yeah.
Here's the other thing I read from Dave Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer. He said CM Punk was originally slated to win the Royal Rumble, and they changed the finish the last 2 minutes. Punk called an audible and told Cody to throw him out of the ring because he knew he was hurt, and he knew there's a good chance that he's not going to make it to WrestleMania. So from what I heard, Cody Rhodes was not the attended winner of this year's WrestleMania, and he called an audible the last minute. So it looks like they changed a lot of things. We don't. I mean, it could be bullshit, could be nothing, could be. But I heard it. That's so I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out there.
So now the wait for Monday Night Raw because Cody and Roman are really Raw guys, right?
No, they're SmackDown.
Oh.
Cody's on Raw. Roman is on SmackDown.
Oh, okay. So
So you're not going to get anything on Raw. Roman will not be on Raw. Rock will not be on Raw.
damn.
You're going to have to wait till next Friday and probably longer than that because Roman doesn't do like multiple Fridays in a row. He's like a once a week, once a month, like show up whenever
Why
he
the
fucking feels
fuck?
like it.
I do feel like the World Heavyweight Championship at this point is more like we keep saying no. The belt means
no.
so little to me right now that it's fucking they're just
because
keeping it on
because
Raw.
Roman Reigns has it.
I
The
get
belt wouldn't mean that if Cody took it from him, which is
Well,
why
he
I
could
wanted him
redeem
to
the
do
belt.
that. He can
Last
redeem the belt.
WrestleMania, really.
The belt has it has more lineage. It has, the history of Bruno Sammartino, Bob Backlund, Iron Sheik, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, Sergeant Slaughter, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Yokozuna, Diesel, Stone Cold, The Rock, Mick Foley, Triple H, The Undertaker. It's got a way bigger history than the World Heavyweight title, which is not really the World Heavyweight title.
This leads me to believe they're going to unify the belts.
They're not doing
Cody
that.
Win that fucking
They're not
belt.
doing that. They just split the belts. They just created that new belt. They're not going to unify the belts. It's just after they just made one.
Oh, that's
It's not
true.
happening.
Fuck,
They just made this belt.
Keep
They're
going.
not
It's
unifying
They're
shit.
not getting. They have 2 shows. They have to have 2 champions. They have 2 rosters. 2 rosters, 2
yes,
champions.
Chris.
It's
Yes.
working so fucking well. Everyone's so fucking happy about that. They should just keep doing it then. Doesn't make any sense. You could keep saying that they're doing it, but apparently, based on what everyone's reaction was to the last 10 minutes of that show, no one fucking likes that.
But that's not because they have 2 belts. It's because Roman is holding that belt hostage.
Well,
He is.
back the
Keep
big
getting
gold.
subjected to
Gonna have
the
to figure it
solo
out.
coming out and spiking somebody in the fucking throat.
They should bring
Yeah,
back the
just
winged
like-
eagle.
Well, yeah, of course.
How can you bring back a winged eagle when Roman Reigns is carrying around that piece of shit fucking belt?
ugly.
Because he's gonna lose and Cody's gonna get it and he's gonna bring it back.
Who,
It just
when
doesn't
is
make
he-
sense because
when
so what-
SummerSlam, he's gonna wait. We're gonna wait
That's
till
what I'm saying.
SummerSlam?
How
What-
far
what-
out is this going to drag? He says, I want to take everything from you, but not at WrestleMania.
I already told
What
you.
does that
I already
mean?
told you that they want to probably erase Hulk Hogan from the record books, and if he holds on the title till September, Roman, I'm saying, if Roman, I said this 2 weeks ago. If Roman holds on the title till September, he'll surpass Hulk Hogan's 1,400 some odd day reign.
Imagine
as
Hulk
champion.
Hogan comes in,
Fake.
runs
It's a
into
fake record.
Imagine Hulk Hogan runs into the ring the day before and he's like, "That doesn't work for me, brother," and takes the title.
It's bullshit because you look at it like Roman Reigns is now
That'd be good.
over 3 years as champion. He's defended that title less times in over 3 years than Seth Rollins has in a year with that new title.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
what
bullshit
it's
paper belt. It's not a paper belt in terms of the history of the belt, but he's a bullshit fucking champion. He's one of the worst champions we've ever had. He's horrible.
Can't talk on the mic. He can't promote.
well,
he doesn't fucking
no.
wrestle.
He's learned to be able to talk on the mic. He's not.
He's
bad on the
okay.
mic. We can't.
He's
if you
not-
say
he's
that
not
and then
anything.
we clip this, people are gonna fucking tear us apart.
Really?
So
Yeah,
I
tear
have
us
to be the
apart.
voice of reason.
Roman
He's
Reigns
not
sucks
horrible
on the
on
mic.
I don't give a
Roman Reigns compared to The Rock and Cody Rhodes and
No,
Stone
he's
Cold
not compared
is
to
shit
them.
on the
Hulk
mic.
Hogan.
He's
He's
not
not
even
bad on the
remotely-
mic.
he's not even in the
He
same
gets a
fucking
reaction out of the
space
crowd.
as he
Feels great even
sucks.
if Paul
Do you think
Heyman.
he deserves to
Acknowledge
be
me.
champion? Though?
No, no,
That's what
no,
I'm
no,
saying.
no.
That's the
No,
whole point.
I'm
of
just
this.
saying. I'm not gonna say that he sucks so bad. He doesn't. I'm not on the
There's
mic.
been so many people over the years that are more deserving of the title.
What kind
Absolutely.
of match is The Rock
Absolutely.
and Roman Reigns going to have? It's going to be a shitty match. They both suck in the ring. The Rock is 50-something years old.
Yeah,
He's
that's-
not 30 years old. Roman Reigns already has 2 fucking moves. It's going to be a terrible fucking match.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
The Rock is
This
going to be the
such a-
special ref. for the
I don't
match.
understand why they didn't have Cody win last year and defend as the babyface and just get all of this heat because it
They
was
want
so
this record.
he would have
They
been
want
pushed.
this-
Yeah. This. Oh.
this
Well,
bullshit.
I'm just tired of the
Yeah.
high-mindedness where they're like, we don't want to overexpose him. Austin was never overexposed.
I think
Rock was
we're
never
missing this.
overexposed.
I
The
think we're
champion
missing it,
should be
man.
there every
They would-
night.
missing
They would
It's
wrestle.
so
They would
silly.
do Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and then Monday Night Raw would be a fucking heater. You know what I mean? Monday Night Raw after those two would be sick because they were heavily involved in the show.
Oh wow!
So
Martin just said something good. He said he's fucking awful. He's the new Goldberg.
Yeah, we got some heat. We got some heat in the
That's a-
chat
that's a-
from the dungeon. Says, "What's up with the tribal chief hate?"
He
again,
sucks.
Yeah,
Fucking
Joe could
sucks.
articulate it better
He's
than
a
mine.
fucking
tribal
2-move
queen.
of fucking doom. He can't fucking wrestle. He can't fucking sell. He's shitty on the fucking mic. You only like him
sell.
because he has a look.
he
He
got
looks like
RKO'd pretty
fucking.
good, or-
He looks
He
like the
could suck.
fucking Walmart version of Jason Mimosa. Fuck that guy. He sucks. Get the title off of him.
Well, hold on, wait. Let me just go back in time a little bit too, because he used to be the good guy that nobody really was sold on.
Why
kept
would they
trying to
not
ram him
sold
down? Hold
on
on,
him,
hold on. Let me
though?
just say they tried to ram him down our throats, and unlike John Cena, who they always kept as the Superman,
Right.
and they kept ramming him down our throats, they actually turned Roman heel, and I think that was a good move. That was
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to us. But, over time, it's just become this thing where they're like, we don't want to overexpose him. I don't understand that.
What does that
No
mean?
top
What
guy
is
was
Great
ever
move. It was a great move,
overexposed.
Chris, to turn him heel, but that doesn't negate the fact that he sucks. When the bell rings, he's the drizzling shits.
Yeah. And look, overexposed is a bullshit excuse because if you look at
Let me ask you a question, Chris. Let me ask you a question. Or D-Rot from the dungeon. Anybody in the chat. I want you to name me 3 5-star Roman Reigns matches. Go.
while they come up with those, I was just thinking about when you have someone who wins, continuously wins. Look at the Chiefs in the NFL. They were the baby face when their first one, and then their second, and now they're on their 4th in 5 years, and the entire country wants to see them fucking lose. So with Roman being the win, champ, it just, if you kept seeing him, it gives him more heat because you hate him even more. I don't even think overexposing him would belittle the heat.
That's my other thing too. And we forgot to mention too that he did get diagnosed with leukemia. He had a great promo where he told everyone, "Hey, look, my name's not Roman. My name's Joe. I got leukemia." He stepped away for a while. Tears were shed. He came back. Then he became a bad guy. So there's a little bit more to the story there. Fuck.
I
All
get
I'm
it, but
saying
what's happening?
is he's not entertaining to me at all.
Yeah.
Well, so hold on. That's what I wanted to say. What drives me fucking nuts, and why Roman sucks, and why the storyline sucks, and why we're pissed off, is because at least in the Attitude Era, you had a moral compass in your commentators, and you would have JR screaming, "You no good son of a bitch! You screwed us! You screwed the fans! You screwed Cody!"
Right.
You would have that, he's a bad guy. We're mad at him for fucking doing this to us.
True.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Now
To be
you have
honest
the
with you-
commentators, Michael Cole, like, well,
Oh my
beat
God.
him. This is Roman's world, and we're just living in it. And it's like it's like no.
wants
The
to
only
hear
person recently was when Seth and Cody had the promo in the ring, and Seth said, "Look, Roman's belt doesn't mean anything." He said that last
Everything he
Raw.
said was on point.
It was a good
Everything
promo.
he
He
said
said that
was
belt
great.
doesn't mean anything because Roman's never here. We already know that. That's the Hollywood belt. That's the politicking belt. This belt means something. You should fight me. Which was almost like,
That
damn,
was
it's
great.
a pretty
That
good
was
case. I
great.
don't want to see it.
It was great, but I already seen that match 3 times.
Well, that's the whole thing. I almost would rather I don't want to see Roman. Fucking good. Cody versus Seth. But we already saw that so many times. Cody already beat him multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, we
What's
just
the
want-
sense? So what's the sense of Cody and Seth? Like he's beaten him 3 times, beating him a 4th time. Like what is that? Just buries Seth Rollins. And if Cody loses at WrestleMania, he's going to go ahead and win 2 Royal Rumbles in a row and lose at 2 WrestleManias in a row.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're just going to fucking ruin all the momentum that Cody Rhodes has built. Now, think about this: if Cody Rhodes is not in the WWE and he's still in AEW, we're probably not talking about wrestling that much. We're
That's
really
good.
not.
Really good point.
We're really not, because it's Cody Rhodes, and I'm just using him, that really sparked our interest again into pro wrestling. I was pretty much out. I did not care. I mean, it was cool to see Stone Cold come back. We were hyped about that. But if you didn't have Cody Rhodes come back at that WrestleMania, we're probably not sitting here right now this invested into Road to WrestleMania, into WWE, or into anything like that.
Right.
We're
Here's
not.
the thing. I think they want this. I think they want us to get mopey. I think they're
Yes.
fucking with us. I do. I still feel like they're fucking with us.
I hope you're right. I don't
know,
think you are.
I'm like, I refuse to, let it play
we-
out. Triple H said himself at the Royal Rumble press conference, Cody is the guy. They clearly know what Cody is. They see the value in him. He is their biggest star. They know what they're doing. This is, they're trying to, my fear is that they're like what's the word? Like overplaying your cards.
Yeah.
It's like,
They're overplaying their hand.
there comes a point where this
You're making
is
it. You're
jumping
saying
the
you're
shark.
making it too obvious.
The one,
You're
that's-
taking a lot out
that's-
of our goodwill of fans, because to be a wrestling fan, you have to suspend your
disbelief.
And there's a certain point though where it's almost like we know that this is fake.
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
like we know that, or staged or whatever. This is all written.
Wrestling's not
I
fair.
just hope they're not intentionally ruining the story, like fucking the Disney Star Wars movies,
Bro,
in the
it's
sake
ruined.
of making it unpredictable.
What was the point of why didn't you have Gunter win the Rumble? And then Gunter challenges Seth. There's no point having Cody win the Rumble if he's not going to challenge Roman Reigns. The whole point of finishing the story and all this is so he beats Roman Reigns for that title at WrestleMania.
Right.
It's not beating him at Raw or SmackDown or SummerSlam or Survivor Series or in Perth, Australia. That's not the story that we were getting the last 2 years. The story is he beats Roman Reigns for a title that is not defended, that is not shown on TV, but once every fucking quarter. And he finishes his story at WrestleMania. He does what his father never did.
Agreed. And he comes out on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania.
I didn't even expect
carrying
to
the
talk about
belt,
this much.
He
defends
throws
the
it in the
belt.
trash, and he brings out the winged eagle. That was my dream. He throws that piece of shit title that is a piece of shit trinket fucking garbage championship, and he pulls out the brand new winged eagle.
Oh,
That's what I would have liked to see. I would have gone. I mean, that's not gonna happen.
So
They don't
every
like
I don't
it.
comment
want similar to
on Twitter is negative.
Similar to Stone Cold, where he said, "I don't want this title." He came out wearing at the time was it the winged eagle? I don't remember, or it definitely wasn't Big Gold. And he tells Vince, "Come out! I don't want this fucking title. Get this thing out of here." And he tells Vince to go home and get him his broken skull fucking belt.
Huh?
What? Fucking broken
Yeah.
skulls all night. So I will say, they swerved us at the last WrestleMania, because we definitely went into that WrestleMania last year with the full expectation, T-shirts on, gear. We were rooting. We thought we were coming out of that with him with the belt. We've been along for the journey, loosely. Another year. We've given them the okay, all right. You didn't want to just crown Cody and make it too obvious. Fine. If they fucking do it 2 years in a row, that's a devastating. I don't know. It's just
This is poor. This is poor storytelling and poor writing, and it's lazy writing.
They'll never
Here's how
fill
I-
a seat to the WrestleMania again if they really fuck it up.
Here's how I would have done it. I would have had Cody come out on SmackDown, have him challenge Roman Reigns, right? And then I would have had every single Samoan that's ever been in the WWE get in that ring and kick the shit out of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns just sits there with his hands tied. He's like,
They've
yeah, you
already
want to come to
done that pretty
WrestleMania?
much.
Come to WrestleMania. And then The Rock's music hits. And then The Rock cleans house. And The Rock protects Cody Rhodes. And it's Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania with The Rock in his corner. I don't need to see The Rock wrestle again. I don't.
It's a good point. Nobody does. We've seen it.
Do you think he'll be a special ref?
No.
No, they won't even do that.
Special ref.
I just don't. I'd be thoroughly
Horrible.
I almost wore. It's funny. I almost wore my Cody Rhodes fucking shirt here tonight, and I was like, you know what? No, I'll wait until
Just hearing him talk, I could tell how
kind of
gassed he was. Like,
They're
he was
trying
so
to
let
fucking
down.
infuriate us. Like they really want us to.
They are.
They
I'm
want
fucking
fun.
pissed.
They want frothing at the mouth. I
But
think.
know
you
they
know,
should
there's a
call me
certain
Joe
point
Rogan
where
this
it's
week.
like fucking.
Fuck 'em
You
all.
gotta. I don't know how to say it. It's like. It's too much of a tease, There's a certain
it's
point
not a
where you
tease,
just
bro.
want
They're not teasing you. What are they going to do? So in your mind, they're teasing it. So how do they turn it back? How do you take it back now? How do you roll it back to where this is going to happen at Mania now? How do you do that?
Shit, I don't know how it works too well.
You just said not at WrestleMania. You
I would
literally
do a
said
terrible
that.
job at guessing.
That's the whole thing. It's like then when backlash.
Not at WrestleMania. So who cares? I don't want to watch this shit now.
Yeah, WrestleMania is the Super
We
Bowl.
weren't even supposed to be talking about this for so long. We had a whole a bunch of other shit that we. This just
Well,
fucked everything up.
We were
You
thinking that.
you fucked it up, man.
Yeah,
It's like
fucked
you
it
giving
up.
us fucking wrestling blue balls to the nth
Exactly
degree.
what they just did. It's exactly what they just did. Got us all excited to see Cody challenge.
Oh, Cody's
then-
gonna be at SmackDown. Yeah, it's gonna be Roman.
Yeah, that
I
was-
thought they were gonna have a little tussle. Something's gonna pop
Horrible,
off a
man.
little bit. Nope, just a couple intros and a sign off with a stare down. It's like, come
So what's
on.
what's the point of the Rock and Roman though? Let's tap into that for a little bit.
Well,
So
they've been, you know,
Well, it's a match for the head of the table, right? Who's the real head of the table of the Samoan dynasty?
Fucking Rock.
The Rock is going to lose?
He did it for The Rock.
probably is
The
going
Rock-
to lose. I don't see him winning.
Okay, so he loses, and it's Roman again. And we're back to square one again.
It's
Then
Roman's
what?
world, and we're
Is
just
Cody
living
going to
in
win
it.
3 Royal Rumbles in a row? And come back at WrestleMania 41?
Oof.
I do not want to wait a whole nother year. That's going to sour the fan base. That's going to make people turn on the product.
Oh,
And you know what? People who are really rooting for Cody are probably going to boo The Rock because The Rock is taking his spot and he's taking his place at WrestleMania.
Yeah, top comments. Get Rock off my screen. I need Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania. What the fuck? Here's another good one. Imagine burying your biggest active babyface just so a 55-year-old can come back to put Roman over. Yeah,
Who
the
said
comment
that?
section is this
said
is
that?
not in ours. I'm sorry. This is on the WWE's main Twitter
Yeah.
page.
That sounds spot on. That's exactly how I feel.
They're
Cody
not
Rhodes worked his ass off, came back from a torn
fucking
pec,
injury. Yeah,
went
That
just to
alone,
get fucking shit on again.
that alone.
This reason here is why CM Punk left the WWE in the first place. This is why he left, because The Rock kept taking his spot at WrestleMania, and he knows The Rock is just a part-timer. He's going to show up once a year, cash in the biggest paycheck, and for that reason, Punk never got the chance to wrestle at WrestleMania's main event. That is a full reason
You think
why
it's
he
going to be
left
Cody
WWE
Punk
in the
at
first
WrestleMania?
place. No, Punk is done. He's got
Punk's
a torn tricep.
Yeah, he tore his whole.
Unless he
the muscle
juices up
fell
and
off.
some miracle
When is
happens.
WrestleMania?
April
April
3rd,
7th.
2nd. Oh, 7th. It's right next to my birthday. I keep going on, but it is shocking to watch that. I know it's February
Can I
2nd.
read some of these tweets?
Let's see. Yeah,
This
Chris.
is a perfect example on how to take two of your top baby faces, how to make two of your top baby faces look like the biggest fucking stupid idiots on the planet. That's
So,
Humble Wrestling. Sean Ross Sapp said, "This isn't taking everything from Roman; it's taking everything from Cody."
So wait,
Yeah.
what does The Rock fucking gain? What does Dwayne Johnson? Sorry, let me
Zero.
just stop
Nothing.
referencing him as The Rock.
He's the most famous person. in the
What
world.
does he gain from doing this by taking this away potentially from Cody, other than gaining heat that he just doesn't need because he's not a long-term character?
Did you see it? Did you see how uncomfortable that hug was when he shook his hand
Oh, yeah.
and pulled him in? Like Cody didn't really embrace. He was kind of like, "Oh, fuck
I
you, bro!
guess.
Like you're screwing me up here, bro."
We're on the board now, so I guess.
I just I don't.
He had to eat. He had to eat a big pile of shit tonight. That's not cool. More shit from the WWE.
Who comes to Cody like, hey Cody, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have you.
Hey pal,
not-
hey pal, I got a great idea.
We're gonna
You
make
lay
the
down and I'll
fans
take
so
a shit
fucking
on your
starved
head.
for
We're gonna
you know.
froth money. Hell says money. The Rock has to gain money. I don't see
Makes
anything.
more money for movies than he's going to do. At
Yeah,
one
he
shot at
doesn't
WrestleMania.
gain money. He is a board
Doesn't
of
need that
directors
money.
member. He's a
Yeah.
shareholder of the company, of the broader company TKO.
Right.
His persona, his profile doesn't get any bigger. Everyone fucking loves him up until like this very second where it's like,
I think he's gonna get booze, bro. Depending on what talent they go in, there's gonna be a mixed reaction for him when he finally does talk.
I'm just gonna hope. I'm gonna be delusional, self-delusional, and hope when we're sitting here watching WrestleMania live that we were wrong in this moment and they got us good and we're fucking happy.
I'm not that hopeful, man.
I know.
The other thing too is if Cody wrestles Seth's not 100%. That match is not going to be what you expect it to be. Seth Rollins has a fucked up knee. He's not going to be 100% by WrestleMania. Even if he does like
Torn
go off.
MCLs are
Conrad Thompson, which is one of the biggest wrestling podcasters. He said, "Fucking lame,"
Yeah.
and then somebody said, "Seriously, I don't understand how people hate on The Rock versus Roman. I've been wanting to see this for years." And Conrad said, "Yeah, man, we all want to see the bloodline interfere and Roman win again. Sounds awesome."
Exactly.
I mean, it's true. Like
God.
it gets stale.
Chris, who's that Samoan wrestler who's on the Indies? He's a free agent now. He's probably going to show
Jacob
up.
Fatu.
Jacob Fatu will show up at WrestleMania and cost The Rock the match. Calling it.
I mean, it would be. the only thing maybe that could be some solace would be it'd be pretty cool if, as a debut,
Or Rikishi comes out and says, "I did it."
Jacob
for the Rock."
Fatu shows up and actually screws Roman. That would be cool if a Samoan shows up and fucks Roman over, and then The Rock has his own fucking.
The Rock does not need a title. The Rock doesn't need to walk out with the belt.
He does not need to be in the main event at WrestleMania.
I don't see any
You just took
purpose.
that from Punk and from Cody.
Yeah, I don't see any purpose in him going in, wrestling, winning, or losing.
He's
even,
55.
It's
I don't care how much growth hormone he's fucking on and how much he fucking bullshits everybody that he's natural. Get the fuck off my TV. I do not want to see you anymore.
Well, that's the thing. If
Don't
anything,
play fucking politician. Get the
Rock,
fuck off
right.
my TV.
Good point, because Dwayne Johnson has more to lose than anybody in my mind in terms of what his popularity means for him outside of
I
wrestling.
mean, he already Black Adam flopped.
Yeah, he's so his profile is so big. People really want to see him do big things, potentially run for president. Heard a lot of different things. This little offshoot side quest fucking thing, it just means so little to him, which means it means little to the audience because he's not The Rock necessarily anymore. He's more than
The Rock
that.
in a very long time.
Right, and I'm praying for a swerve. I'm hoping they are good. I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I don't have good prediction. I don't know the WWE well enough to know how they could do it, but just the response, just the instant reaction. I mean, we go through this. Negative things get more reaction than positive things. Like we've gone through this on the show. We've gone through this in the comments. Right. We've gone through this. So I'm almost getting this sense of, as like a business, the WWE is like, yeah, we could put Cody over, but as much as the fans would be happy, is it going to draw a bigger audience where something that causes heat is going to draw a big audience? And again, I can't see them not rewarding Cody.
You have to think about how expensive those seats are at WrestleMania.
Right.
You're not going to want to go to WrestleMania unless you're expecting to see your guy win. You know,
right?
Like you would probably go.
People are going to go to WrestleMania.
Well,
people are going to watch it, and this is the shit that always happens. Like wrestling fans, there's a lot of goodwill, but there's going to be a lot of people that are lost.
Let me put it to Vin this way.
Shoot.
Vin, who's the greatest quarterback of all time or greatest football player of all time?
You want?
Yeah, just at the top of your head. Who anybody, past or present?
Bart Starr. You could go.
Bart Starr is not the greatest football player of all time, but
one
keep
of the
going.
greatest quarterbacks ever.
Okay, but he's not the greatest.
What do you want me? I'm curious what you want me to say. You want me to say Tom? You want me to say Tom Brady?
I want you to say who in your eyes is not what you know.
Greatest football player all time.
Doesn't have to be a quarterback, just anybody.
Joe Namath.
Barry Sanders. Fuck. Hold on.
Bo Jackson.
Oh, too short, man. He would have been.
All right, let's just say Joe Montana, right? Let me give you a scenario, right? I'm going to give you a ticket to see Joe Montana versus Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback from yesteryear against the greatest quarterback against now. You can have that ticket, or you can not go and wait till next year, and you can go to the Super Bowl where the Packers will be in the Super Bowl. Which ticket are you taking?
Yeah. The question answers itself.
Okay, why?
Going to the Packers Super Bowl.
Why? So you want to see Cody, though. You want to go to WrestleMania where Cody's winning the title. That's my point.
Yes.
You want to go see The Rock, who wrestled 30 years ago.
I'm not paying, and I've seen the Super Bowl ticket prices. I'm not paying $20,000 to go watch the Kansas City Chiefs in their fourth Super Bowl play the fucking 49ers.
But if there was a way that you could go to
possibly
see the
Packers snuck in, I don't know how.
There was a way you could finally get the tickets, you know.
They just kill the 49ers and take their place.
But that's the kind of comparison that I'm trying to make for you.
I get you. I get what you're saying.
If Cody's your guy, you're not going to want to pay a ticket to see the other guy.
Right. I get what you're
So
saying.
it's not a matter of heat. Wrestling's different from sports, you know. It's just you want to see your guy, you know, fulfill his dream and get the prize at the end of the tunnel at the biggest show of the year, no less.
Oh man, it sucks.
Help!
This is fucking bullshit. We've been on this roller coaster for like 3 years because Cody fucking tore his pec what, 6-8 months before the WrestleMania last year, right? Well, when was that?
A year.
It was a whole year before. So we
Almost.
thought he was going into that first WrestleMania.
3 years.
And it got squashed because of the injury.
It's like 9 months or something like that.
Jesus. And then that's the other risk. They could just get injured. There's, the wrestling's set up stage.
What happened to Punk? First match back, gets injured. That's it. He's
I'm
dead.
coming
So
for
they're
you,
just-
but not at WrestleMania. I just don't get that. Then
coming
when?
for
When would you
you.
want The Rock? When would you want Roman except for WrestleMania?
So all
Can we
that
fucking
tells-
change the subject? I'm
All right,
fucking sick.
I'm gonna wrap it up. We're all sick. I'm gonna wrap it up with this. That's just a telltale sign, Chris. What he says. Repeat it one more time for me.
I'm coming for you for everything you have, but not at WrestleMania.
So that's a telltale sign of them telling the audience that at some point it's going to be Cody and Roman for the title for everything, but it's not going to happen at WrestleMania, which means they want Roman Reigns to hold on to that title for, at the very least, the end of September.
Jesus. Are we really going to suffer through
It doesn't
this?
mean anything to anyone, okay? You got a better fucking record than Hulk
That's what-
Hogan.
That's
No
what
one's
they
going
want.
to
Okay.
clap. No one's going to
Nobody gives a fuck.
No one's going to care until they come out with a documentary, like Chris said, fucking 10 years from now, where the leukemia and he had it and he fought it and he came back.
And it won't work
Why are
because
you
nobody's
giving
gonna be-
him the belt. If he's sick, if anything's wrong, he's not the champ. If the quarterback of the best team in the league gets injured, they're not the best fucking team anymore, and they don't win the fucking Super Bowl. Where's the competition then? Where is the fucking? Even if it's staged, you still need to feel that urge of, yes, you want your guy to win, and he's got to beat the bad guy, and the bad guy's got to always be there being the bad guy, not just he shows up and he smirks. He just makes these arrogant faces and never touches the
Same shit
mic,
over and
holds
over
this
again.
ugly belt no one fucking likes. Sucks. We're going to watch it anyway, and we're going to bitch like hell. Fucking WrestleMania
what this
here.
all is?
That's going to be a really interesting WrestleMania because we're going to be going off.
You know what this all is? This is a distraction from the Vince thing. That's exactly what it did to the show, and that's what they want.
You know,
Gives us
the
something to
last,
forget about Vince
I'll
and
fucking
talk
remember
about
right
the-
now. Somebody brought up, why are they fucking bringing The Rock out when he's so close to Vince? You know?
I
wouldn't-
want to take
I
a step
wouldn't
back
be-
too. I want to take a step back because we didn't really talk about the Royal Rumble, but I think we
I
all
wanted
agreed.
to talk more about Vince, but all right. You
Well,
talk about Rumble.
just because we don't. There's really not much to say about the Royal Rumble except we all agreed that it sucked, right? I mean, it
terrible.
was not a good. I mean, Cody winning was pretty cool because where we thought it was going to go, but the rest of the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble, was
Drizzle and
I'm
shits.
sorry, it was like that. That was bad.
Terrible.
There was a lot of botches in that.
Terrible.
I was laughing. How many botchos? I felt like I was
You
watching
can't-
AEW.
And I'm all right. I mean, hey, Jade Cargill, there was some cool moments.
Mm.
I'm not saying there was nothing good about it.
There
I
was
enjoyed
cooler
some-
moments in the women's Rumble than there was in the men's. The men's had no
When
tonight,
surprises.
when
Jade,
Bailey-
when Jade fucking picks up what's her
Nia
name,
Jax.
Nia Jax, and that was fucking impressive. I
Yeah.
don't care if that's assisted or not.
I thought
was
that
cool.
the angle tonight where Bailey challenged Io and's like, I know Japanese and challenged Io
Yeah.
was better. And this is not saying
Yeah.
was better than what we saw with Rock and Roman. What is that?
100% agree. And what does that tell you?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see this
It's a
shit.
sin.
But that Rumble was awful. Rob
The
was
last
literally
couple of
falling
pay-per-views
asleep.
that I've watched with Rob, we've fallen asleep. I wouldn't be surprised if we're live streaming a WrestleMania spectacular for the third year in a row, and we're all fucking falling asleep.
We're all
Every
talking about-
pay-per-view I've watched in the last 3, 4, 5 months, I've fallen asleep.
It's funny because people were very verbal about the WWE decline clip, where Joe gave us some of the reasons that he feels that WWE is just not hitting on all cylinders, specifically more with the shows, not as a brand, but more what the shows
The
are
ratings.
doing, the draw,
The ratings
right,
have declined.
the oversaturation with the multiple shows and the NXT, and just the lack of focus and the lack of
They
strong
can say
story
whatever
arcs.
they want. The ratings are declined. The ratings aren't what they used to be, and the house show attendance has declined.
I think
They're-
house show
they're-
attendance is up. Actually, I mean they just broke a Madison Square Garden record.
Yes, but
Um,
that's Madison Square Garden. If you look at the other shows that they have during the week, they're small venues.
Also,
Like these venues aren't Madison Square Garden. Go look at Cody's Instagram, and he pulls a schedule up of all the places he's going to be for the week because he makes every single fucking town because he's the workhorse of the fucking company, and he's who somebody wants to pay a ticket to see who's in fucking, Alabama or
Nashville.
fucking Illinois or wherever.
They'll
you
parade
know,
them around, but they won't give them his
Muskogee,
flowers, you know?
Wisconsin. I don't fucking know. You know, they're in smaller venues. Like occasionally they'll throw a garden show, and it's like once every 2 years. And it's awesome that it sold out, probably because of Punk, because he came back. But their house show attendance is down. They're not in bigger venues like they were in the Attitude Era. Stone Cold Steve Austin sold out Madison Square Garden for like a 4-year span or a 3-year span. Hulk Hogan sold out Madison Square Garden from like 84 to like 1991. And Bruno Sammartino quadrupled that in the 70s and 60s.
You know, the other thing, too, you pointed this out, Joe, with the Royal Rumble, is the crowd sucks.
That was the worst crowd I've ever heard in my life. They were terrible.
They're just
I
terrible.
think that they just didn't mic them up. I think
Either
that they
the
were worried.
acoustics in the stadium were terrible or the crowd was just dead.
They look dead. They look dead. They look like, you know what it looks like when you talk about ticket prices, too? It looks like a bunch of people who spent a ton of money on the show, and they're not like that energized fucking crowd.
Real fans can't afford it. It's like your Super Bowl crowd. They're not real fans.
It's these like
Real
corporate.
fans can't spend 10 grand on a fucking ticket.
Right. It's definitely like that was the sense I was getting. Like these people paid a lot of money, and you know they're wrestling fans, but they're not the rawest fucking rowdy crowd that's gonna really get like. They're walking down the ramp, and you can see like they're in arm's reach. The ramp was pretty narrow, and they're not even reaching out to try to. They're just, wow. It's like if you're an audience member, really at any sporting event, you're part of the show. When I go to a football game, like I know we're part of the entertainment for the people at home. I know when I'm on the home, I'm at home. When I went to Lambeau, I'm extra fucking loud. I'm gonna let you know I'm fucking here. I'm excited to be here. I'm putting it all out there. I'm losing my fucking voice. If I paid $10,000-$12,000 to go to the fucking Rumble or wherever, and I'm just sitting there like, it's fucking bullshit. It looks lame. It looks lame on TV. It just sucks. And now you mix all of this stuff we're talking about with a really lackluster story. Just we're not going anywhere. It's just like going nowhere for 6 more months.
And just put the kibosh on the WrestleMania season that was really hot. We were really looking. If you backtrack 4 weeks ago to this show, we were hyped as fuck.
Thought they were on fire.
Road to WrestleMania.
They definitely took the wind out of our sails with that. EQ says, "What you gonna do, brother, when 2.93K subscribers run wild on you?"
Almost at 3,000. Hell yeah!
God. Well, we should revisit the Vince convo. We really didn't dabble into it.
I want to hear your guys' opinion. You guys didn't give me your guilty or not guilty verdict. Like Chris didn't.
Chris hemmed and hawed a little bit. He doesn't want to put.
Well, Cody was coming out, and we kind of just got segued into that, and we
changed the whole trajectory.
It just ruined the fucking whole fucking night. Ruined my whole fucking night.
Fuck, dude. You should have kept it on mute and found out later.
Ugh, it sucks. It's so bad.
No, as soon as you saw The Rock come out, I would have known what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah, he would have.
And Cody leaves the ring. What the
he
fuck?
would have been huffing and puffing heavy.
I would have been even more
Cody
pissed.
didn't look happy too, man. Rock
He
pulled
looked
him in
pissed.
for the hug.
I told you that was a cold hug, bro.
Yeah, Rock
that was like
pulled
an
him
ass
in.
out. That was like
It was a little brother hug.
I was like, sorry, bro. Get out the ring. I'm the bigger star.
Oh, here it is.
Rock is gonna get booed, bro. That was not a good look. That was not a good
All
look.
the comments are negative.
They're gonna create a new tag team called the Rocky Roads. You know,
Rocky Road, Root, baby Root.
As far as the
so
Vince
Chris,
thing goes, I mean, you know, he's probably guilty.
Okay. Wow.
He's probably guilty. You know, again, I think you do need to see it needs to play out in court. You know, what we're getting is a sampling of all the most atrocious things that Vince ever said, but we don't have any context that, you know, what she was saying to him before, during, or after. You know, if there's text of her saying like, "Oh yeah, keep sending me this shit," then, you know, what do we have? You know, I don't know. He's probably guilty. I don't understand it all. It's tough to talk about, you know, because you don't want to fucking rub anybody the wrong way. But, you know,
he's a childhood hero for a lot of you folks. You guys love wrestling since the beginning. We've laughed our asses off at a lot of the Vince antics, the insatiable appetite that he's, you know, there's many clips of him
And whether he's a piece of shit or not, he created a hell of a product.
Hinting at this kind of behavior. And now when things like this come to light, it brings this refocus on all of those clips, and you're rewatching it like, that's a bad look, man. That's a
But
what
is
are
that
you doing
was that
there?
was he a target? You never know if they said, "Well, look at all of that." That would only support our case.
Chris is not ever going to bury Vince until he's
I just said he's
buried.
probably guilty.
Probably.
What else do you want? He's probably guilty, but you need to. We live in a country where it's innocent until proven guilty. These are accusations. We don't know Vince's side. He's probably guilty. You know, it sucks. It's a shitty situation for wrestling fans. Let me just finish.
No.
Let me finish.
No, you're hemming and hawing.
I haven't been able to finish one fucking story. I can't finish the story. I feel like Cody. I'm hemming and hawing. How else do you want me to say it? We live in a country where you gotta. He has a right to defend himself.
The reason is he's guilty. He's not guilty of his proclivities, of his, being
a pervert isn't illegal.
Right. He's guilty of abusing a relationship with an employee. Point fucking blank. That's the problem, and that's where the muddy water comes in. Where you're shitting on him. I don't care what you do in your bedroom, whatever the fuck you want. You're a billionaire. You can pay for sex. You can do whatever you want. But when it involves manipulating an employee, when it involves gifting through WWE cash, and it being paid for by stockholders,
hush money.
Being paid
was
for,
it though? Was that
that was the original?
Was it his own money?
I believe that was the original problem. That it was coming from WWE money.
Yeah.
The gifts and
the
other
he
shit,
ended up paying
not
back,
the sex, but
the NDAs, I think, or whatever, his legal fees.
And then he didn't pay the NDA. You said that there was an NDA agreement. He didn't finish paying it. He's guilty of those things. It's the judgment and the joking and all the other stuff that's going to come out. It's just what happens when you fuck around and you shit where you eat.
That's what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass.
Yeah, that's what he's guilty of, point blank.
Well,
if he was not guilty of these things, they would be very, very forward about defending.
She wasn't an employee that he then started fucking around with. My understanding is that he started fucking around with her and then gave her a job that she really should have never been given.
Fucking
worse. Sure.
Here's sex. All right. Sex for a job. Here's your job. More sex. More whatever. The Brock Lesnar fucking allegedly, again, a lot of allegedly's going on. That's the biggest problem.
The only thing I heard about Brock is he wanted to watch her pee. A video of
allegedly.
Apparently, Brock likes golden showers.
And you could just run wild with all of the antics. But I'm just saying, and it's going to be a joke for a long time, but when you have so much to lose, there are so many people depending on you. I'm not even talking about your family. I'm talking about all of these wrestlers, all this brand, this multi-billion-dollar brand that we're talking about, its explosive growth and all the money it draws and all these things. You're fucking such a dick for even playing with this fire. You had so many other options. You had, like Joe said, hire porn stars, pay first. Who gives it? There's a bunch of people who do whatever you want. They just can't be your fucking employees.
It's like Jim Cornette said. He's like, I could believe Vince being evil. I can't believe Vince being this stupid.
There you go.
Because he's such a fucking like superhuman genius in so many ways.
The problem is when you reach a certain status, and none of us will ever even come close to that, not even a smither of what he has done and accomplished in his life and what he's seen and gone through. When you're that rich and you're that powerful, like that's just what you do. That's just listen. Yeah. Look at the guy who was the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers, and he lost the fucking team. He lost all that shit because he said some stupid shit. Look at what happened to Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, they kind of brought him back and try to redo his image a little bit, and it didn't really work. A lot of people still really don't like Hulk Hogan.
The court of public opinion, strikes again.
It's just one of those things. Once you get vilified in the public's eye, especially in this day and age, where the information is at our fingertips, that's probably why Vince was able to hide a lot of these things in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s.
If you knew everything that Vince did, he probably.
But now it begs the question: is how much more did he do that we don't know about? Yeah, right. Because there's so many. I listen to a lot of shoot interviews. I listen to a lot of wrestlers who are no longer with the WWE or they just got outcasted, and a lot of them say some crazy shit. And Chris isn't going to like this one, but for years, there's been allegations that Vince McMahon was fucking Shawn Michaels.
Oh, I've heard
my
that.
God.
My brother Mike even
Oh,
said
God.
once that he thought that there was some kind of
Because he's not just your boy
Jesus.
toy, you know.
Oh my God.
He's just your sexy boy.
Well, but see, but that
Sexy
now we're
boy!
casting aspersions on others who are in Vince's orbit, which I don't think is fair. People
Vince
are
gave
saying
him a different kind of sweet chin music. You know?
people are saying that Bruce
Fuck Shawn
Pritchard is
Michaels.
complicit,
Shawn
Triple
Michaels
H
is
is
a piece of
complicit.
shit. Shawn Michaels is a piece of shit. He's done fucking the same shit that Bill Cosby did, where he would put roofies in girls' fucking drinks in the early
Hey, you
80s.
can't
and
say
he
that.
would
Don't get our fucking
Fuck.
show suit here.
No, no, no.
You're
Fuck
alleging that
Fuck
based
that.
off of third-hand information
People
from
know,
other
people
people.
know.
Well, the one
People know what
that accused him of that was
Marty Jannetty.
well,
even
not
said it.
not even Marty Jannetty. It was just recently in an interview. Was it? Brutus the Barber Beefcake was.
Oh, that's
What
right.
the fuck? We can't, guys. Come on.
He was
You
recounting.
can't
his
take
story.
every fucking thing that
Again,
somebody says
yeah.
about somebody
Again,
and assume
now-
that it's true.
I'm just
You
saying
have to
that
give
was
people
the source. He was the one that was saying that recently.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You know, what
You're
the
saying
fuck
that
does
they
he
were
know
in the
about
hotel
Shawn
room
Michaels?
together and
Huh?
they fucking roofied these
Stone
girls,
Cold Garbage Pail
screwed
Kid?
them,
What?
and threw them out into the hallway of
Yes.
the hotels, and they got in trouble with hotels for doing that shit.
These
Do
guys
I
did some
believe
sick
it?
shit
You know,
in the
you gotta
fucking
take
80s
every
and 90s.
wrestling story with a grain of salt because what's case?
Just the older you get, everybody's just a piece
Dude,
of shit.
all your heroes.
Everybody ends up being a fucking
You don't-
monster.
Not everybody.
have
Now
heroes.
the
Not
truth
everybody.
is,
Not
you don't
everybody.
want to know everything about anybody
I do.
because you have preconceived notions and blah blah. You just don't want to know certain things. Now again, things like this, the only reason this stuff comes to light is because of the absolute stupidity and dangerous game
Yes.
you're playing
Yes.
with all of these people's livelihoods on the line, and you're exposing yourself. You want to say the court of public opinion. You think Vince McMahon is unaware of the court of public opinion? Like, he knows going into this thing.
Well, he's always been very
Vin,
much
hold on, I got a
fucking-
question for Vin.
Shoot.
For Vin. Vin, how do you think the entire sale of WWE would have went if they tried to sell the company now?
Right. Thank you. It would be 50% discount fire sale. It would probably not get bought because then it makes whoever buys them look bad. It
Yes.
would just be an absolute devastating
Which is why I
blow
think they knew.
to your
I think they
fucking
knew it was
business.
coming.
100% they knew.
Now, Chris brings a good
100% they
brings up a good point, and this was something I was going to get to earlier. During the post Royal Rumble interviews, the press conference, Triple H comes out. Of course, the media is going to ask, and
He
what does
plead
he
the
say?
fifth.
He says, "We were finding out as you were finding out."
Cody said that.
No, well, Triple H reiterated it as well.
Triple H said,
Which
"I
is-
don't want to talk about it. We had
no,
a great
he
week."
said, "We were learning as you were learning," like Cody said. He like repeated what Cody said in a way. I was like watching for this exact reason. I was like,
Listen, you live in the house where your wife's name's McMahon. You know exactly what that fucking guy did.
So
Your
it's dangerous for them because legally, if anyone fucking knew anything, and then they're answering questions in the public like that, that can come back to haunt you later. That can end up in lawsuits.
So can I say something about that? There was a
so-
report today that said that apparently they did not pre-screen any questions. They
Right.
did not tell people that this question is off bounds.
They expected.
They knew, and they didn't do anything to try to obfuscate with the people in the media.
Because
that
again,
they-
like
what
the
I was-
court of public opinion. If they did that, then that would assume guilt.
Well, what I was going to say was it does tell me that at least there is some level of a lack of knowledge about what's going on, even though he's married to his daughter.
Do you know
That- you don't
why
know what you
Vince
stepped
McMahon
up.
handpicked
Right,
Triple
right.
H
I'm
as
agreeing.
his successor? Do you guys know why? Like, this is an obvious answer now.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
The obvious answer as to why Vince McMahon handpicked Triple H, not Shane McMahon, not Stephanie McMahon, but Triple H as his successor.
Because he was
he's not really a successor.
he was far
Nick
enough.
Khan is.
He was far enough away. He was outside of the bubble, in a way.
His name's not McMahon.
No, Triple H is clean as a whistle.
There you go. That's what I was gonna get at.
Triple
The
H
fact
doesn't
that-
smoke, drink, take drugs. He doesn't peruse with like the girls like these other guys. Like, nothing can come up about Triple H that's going to be dirty.
That's a good point, and I agree, because I think by him answering the question or even giving any kind of answer that wasn't talk to our lawyers, it is him knowing I'm clean. I don't know shit. I never wanted to know anything about Vince's private fucking life.
Out of all the guys that are in the clique, Nash, Hall, Shawn Michaels, Sean Waltman, 1-2-3 Kid, they all say Triple H was the wheelman. He was the clean whistle. He didn't do shit, didn't take shit. He was our, he was our designated driver.
Picking him up off the ground. Fucking
Hell yeah.
dragging
Oh, yeah, he put him, who'd he put in the wheelchair? Shawn Michaels? He rolled him through the fucking airport?
That was just incredible talking about Scott Hall. I think you might be
right.
And then JR was looking at him. He's like, I didn't do it. He's looking at he's the one fucking.
He's the one hiling lewds. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the wrestling business. It's grown into this where we are now, this massive brand. It's an equivalent of one of the biggest entertainment. It's not the equivalent, but I'm just saying it's in line with NFL, NBA. It's a very large brand with a very loyal following, but it came from a place that was very backyard. Right. It was a carnival. And as it's evolved, it evolved out of that. But Vince was definitely a part of the carnival. He participated in the carnival, and he carried over those habits and some of those proclivities into his billionaire status.
Well said.
Well, don't forget, too, he is probably also in a way, when he was younger, apparently he was a victim of sexual abuse himself.
Oh, don't start
unfortunately,
that shit, man.
No, hold on. I mean, the reality
I'm
is
empathetic to
a lot of times that then causes the person later on in their life to go and do the very same thing. It's fucking sick, but it's true. I mean, a lot of the people that do this horrible shit were usually victims of. It's not an excuse by any means. It's not a justification or whatever. I'm just saying it adds more context.
Well, there's definitely a correlation to that if your upbringing was that and your childhood memories of those things. But
pass it on.
That doesn't take away the fact that you're an adult and you can make your own decisions 100%. Now, and you made poor ones.
It almost makes it worse because you know what the impact is and you do it anyway.
Right.
I'm very curious what the comments have to say. Do we have some of our? What does our fandom have to say about this? Because it's not looking
from the dungeon said I can't picture Vince pooping on somebody's head. I mean, the thing is, it's so lascivious, it's so salacious, and so bad and extreme that
it's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe.
We didn't get Rob's take. All three of us say guilty. Rob, what say you?
I mean, he's got to be guilty, I can appreciate what Vince McMahon brought to the world of wrestling and separate that from the fact that he's a piece of shit as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no question, it's a shame that somebody that built such a great empire turned out to not be such a great person, but I don't think any of us were surprised, like, oh my God, this is completely out of left field. Vince McMahon is a piece of shit in real life.
It's not even a new story. It's just more details about what was already kind of coming to light last year.
I want to know what Bret Hart thinks. Someone ask Bret Hart on a microphone what the fuck he thinks. I want his answer. I want to know what he thinks about this.
It's almost like the Mr. McMahon character wasn't a character.
Was a little true.
Well,
just like
it's
any
that
character.
Billionaire megalomania fucking...
There's a little bit of truth behind every just kidding.
Happening to Elon right now. Let me add a little.
Almost like he wasn't really acting.
Well, I'm gonna divorce your mother, and I'm gonna marry someone your age.
Let me add something that I read right before we did the show. So one of the accomplices in all of this, one of the people that's apparently was complicit in all of this was John Laurinaitis, who was the head of talent relations.
Oh, God damn, Vince. I didn't realize you want to shit on your head. Oh, get out of the way. Oh, look, Vince. Oh.
Joe knows who John Laurinaitis is. He was, for a little while, a non-screen character, but he actually took over for JR in talent relations. JR didn't like him because he took JR's job.
Why.
But he's implicated in all this because apparently Vince was trying to share the victim here with John Laurinaitis, and that's where the trafficking charges come from. Apparently, John Laurinaitis said that the only thing that he said publicly is that, and again, I read it. I don't know if it's true, so whatever. But apparently, he's claiming that he is also a victim of Vince. That Vince flexed his power on him as well. and that
gives
he
credence.
is
I want to see
another
you
victim.
shit on her too, John.
Yeah.
If anybody's gonna destroy my creation, I'm gonna do it. Me and the NWO.
It's actually probably the best Vince impression I've heard from you yet.
What is Stephen Bias says Eric Bischoff
Yeah,
is in the Hall
Steven
of
finally joined the room. He's been texting
Eric-
me all
so-
fucking night. Fuck your book, Steve. We're gonna promote your book in a week anyway. I'll wear your goddamn fucking hoodie. I want to hear you go off, Steve.
No, he did. He said something
Stephen
good.
Bias says Eric Bischoff is in the Hall of Fame and Vince will never be. That shocks me.
Eric Bischoff actually said that he thinks
That's
that
fucking
Vince is
crazy.
going to be
That's
right
an
there with
interesting
Chris
take.
Benoit.
They'll never put Vince in his own Hall of Fame now. Imagine that. Holy shit. And they'll probably not put Brock Lesnar in there now.
That's
He likes golden showers.
wild.
True. It means that
I would
they ended
watch-
the streak for nothing.
I don't know. So here's the thing, though: is it possible? And it is. I think that with the society that we live in, people like have ADD, and like in fucking 4 months, is everyone just gonna forget about this and
No.
blow over, and then Vince comes
No.
back
When-
again?
I don't
No.
think that's coming back.
When does
When-
this stop?
Vince dies. That will be the time. Usually it's that. It's like when they die, and then there's a big reflection, and it's like it becomes, oh well, for this many decades, look at what he built, look what he did, and they'll really try to rehab it in a way, especially if
This is
he's
a
able to
fucked up
kind of.
Chris
comparison, but I'm
Benoit
going to give
never
it to you
bounced
anyway.
back, you know.
I'm going to give you a
This one-
fucked up comparison, okay? When I was a kid, Michael Jackson to me was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
His music, his talent, his ability to write songs, his ability to dance, sing, perform. Still, till this day, there's no one in the world that has ever been even close to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say.
Right. Agreed.
He still has that shroud and that dark cloud over his head because of the allegations
that was hard to watch.
that happened to him. So that's where Vince McMahon will be once he passes away. It'll be like he created this great thing. He took something that was in a carnival, that was a regional,
Sideshow.
and he turned it into a global entity. Like the WWE is as big as Disney, Star Wars, NFL.
Yep.
It's a brand name that has withstood the test of time for the last 40 to 50 years, and it's because of Vince McMahon's vision. That'll be his history, but there'll still be that dark cloud about this guy was a sadistic son of a bitch.
Yep.
This storyline aside, do you think that it's in good hands with TKO? Do you think
No.
it's in better hands with TKO than it was than Star Wars was with Disney?
No,
Yeah, well,
I said this
I
to
would
you
push
when
back
we
against
thought
that.
that Saudi Arabia was going to buy WWE. When we talking about this like a year and a half ago, when we first knew that there was interest in selling the company, I says it's going to die because no one knows really what to do with this brand like Vince McMahon did.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
I like to be more optimistic than that and say
10
that.
years, and it's going to be done.
Wrestling is older
I
than
don't
Vince
think so.
McMahon, and it'll live past his lifetime.
Who are you going to watch wrestle? That all your guys that you like now, they're going to
Stone
be
Cold
done
Rock,
in
they'll
10
be
years.
dead.
All the guys that I liked
Keep-
are dead or retired anyway.
They are, but I mean,
Breaker,
there's still a
still-
couple. There's
keep
still a
bringing 'em back.
couple. There's still a couple, and in 10 years, they'll all be gone. They'll be gone.
I don't see a world without wrestling.
I don't want to watch Carmelo Hayes when I'm 50.
Like
I
great
don't want to
grandparents
watch.
are watching wrestling. You can't
You
tell
know,
me
Braun
Vince McMahon
Breaker's
was
cool,
involved
but
in
I'm
that,
not going to
you know?
watch him when I'm 50. I'm not going to go to Madison Square Garden.
The
to watch
younger
Braun Breaker.
kids
It's
will.
not. I'm just telling you what I will. As someone who's been watching pro wrestling since the mid 1980s, I will not watch pro wrestling
But you
in,
really
in,
have to
in my
ask as a
50s. I
kid
will
what
not.
they think. You know, I mean, they're not writing wrestling necessarily for us. You know what I mean?
They are.
I mean,
They are.
there's a difference between just good and bad, though.
It's not written for kids. It's not written for kids.
They
Tell you
may
that.
need to stumble pretty hard to understand that they need to make a change, but I don't know. The Cody thing just doesn't back what just
It's a-
happened. What we just witnessed
bad taste
mixed
in
in
my
the
mouth.
whole thing does not make it like, oh yeah, we're on this like trajectory for greatness. It's like they could fumble this. They could
Oh, man.
definitely. We watched. If anybody watches football, you watched someone fumble at the 1 yard line
Right.
and lose the game pretty much based on that fumble. And this is kind of what they're doing right now. You got Cody, you got this momentum, you got the audience, everyone's
It's
drawn
like
in,
being the number one seed and as the Ravens, and then you choke.
and then you just You choke and you fumble.
I would almost rather talk about this shit now
Vince
than I would rather about the story and Cody, because I'm so fucking pissed off about that.
I am too.
Now I want to
I
want to just keep throwing shit on. Like, I'm so mad.
I'm mad too.
Yeah, Martin makes a good point here in the comments. They 100% are, because why would they bring Rock back at WrestleMania? It's to draw the older crowd in.
Yeah, I mean, kids love The Rock too, though. He's fucking guys. You know, he's
did a lot of Disney
Rock-
movies and shit, so kids were.
It just means now The Rock's going to lose to this fuck.
I mean, they
That's all
brought
it
Stone Cold
means.
back. Yeah, well,
It's
that's
just,
it.
oh, The Rock's going to lose to Roman now.
But they brought Stone Cold back and they did it right.
Yeah,
He beat Kevin Owens. He drank beer. He threw a stunner.
at least we
Like,
had
that was a nostalgic act. The Rock is coming back, and they're going to hype it up through the roof like it's this huge main event. And we really didn't find out about Stone Cold and Kevin Owens until like a week or two leading into WrestleMania. And in just 2 short weeks, he sold out Cowboy Stadium in 2 nights, over 85,000 people twice. In just 2 weeks, when you found out Stone Cold's going to be there. That's the difference between someone who you really want to see and The Rock, who you kind of want to see, but you really don't give a shit. You know what I
Not
mean?
like this.
That's just not like this. I don't want to see him do this.
It's like, now I got to pray for him to get injured. so I
The
can
big story
have no
is what
choice.
he is taking away from Cody. I don't know who said it in the comments, Steven or from the dungeon, but they said it's not about like, taking from Roman. He just took from Cody, essentially.
It's so bad. It's
so
so bad.
Yeah,
Cody gave to The
in,
Rock. Cody gave to The Rock more than what Roman ever took away from Cody.
I'm going to apologize to our viewers. Next week, I don't know if we're going to be talking about wrestling. So we're going to get it all in tonight. Because if they don't fucking change the direction of where,
I will be out next week. I'm on a visit to see my mother and like a ski trip up north. So I will be.
Don't worry, Ben, we're not going to talk about
Everybody
wrestling
is
next
fucking
week.
skiing.
Yeah,
It's
we're
just
going
crazy.
out this morning.
I've never been skiing.
So maybe we'll take a needed break and let some things play out.
We'll just stream
that
a video
need to
game.
Play out.
We'll play
That's-
WWE 2K and we'll stream that.
we'll
We'll
do the
fucking
dream.
get the main
Oh,
event.
can I
that we'll
talk
never
about
get in
actually
real
a
life.
good thing now about that? The 2K24 game. I want to talk about that.
Let's talk.
Yeah,
that looks
yeah.
great.
The features. I was watching some gameplay. You can toss items. You can break glass.
That's
in
the biggest
back.
thing to me. The
You
throwing
can
the
take
items.
The fight out to the parking lot, which was something that I used to love to do
Smackdown.
in if you remember WCW Backstage Assault. That was one of my favorite games on the N64 because you were able to go in the back and fight. And shit.
Hold on though. To that point though, they've been saying that even still, but then you could only do it in like certain matches. Like they'll add these features, but then like you could only use them in very specific
You can even
The
ride
ambulance
elevators
match
with
looks
weapons
cool
and
as shit, dude.
ambulance
that was-
match. It looked pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pulling shit out of the back of
was
that.
Cool.
They showed
And you can do it. You can even finish them off in the ambulance and backstage in the locker rooms.
Oh, that's cool.
Really
What was
cool.
it? The blood stays now. The fucking face
The blood
paint
stains,
drips.
your face paint like falls off. Like Ultimate Warrior's face paint will kind of deteriorate as the match goes on. Some really cool details in this one.
I'm really pissed about the last one because now I'm going to spend another $120 on a game I'm
I
going
already
to play 5
spent it.
times.
I didn't even think about it. And the reason why is because my niece fucking loves those games.
You know
It's like an annual tradition now. We get together, we make her character, and then every time she comes over, she plays as her character.
I have a question for everybody. I have a question for the chat. Should Sergeant Slaughter be in WWE 2K24?
Yes.
He has to be. He definitely is.
40
So
years
he's
of
been in so many
WrestleMania.
other games. I don't know why they wouldn't have him.
So what the
You
fuck?
can't have a 40-year. Well, here's the thing. If they do a 40-year of WrestleMania, the WrestleMania that he was headlining was 7.
Oh.
And I already know that both Macho Man and the Ultimate Warrior are in it. And that was the other big match at WrestleMania 7 was the career-ending match between the Ultimate Warrior and the Macho King at the time, Randy Savage. So to answer your question, is he should be in it because he was the biggest part of WrestleMania 7. He's what drew the house. All those people paid to see him get his ass kicked by Hulk Hogan for all the shit that he said about America and Americans during a time when we were at war with Iraq. I don't know. He's been in several WWE games. It would make sense that he's in it. They haven't revealed the full roster yet, but we've seen at least 15 men and 15 women who've been announced so far. Sergeant Slaughter's name's not on there as of yet, but they did say that there's over 250 wrestlers in this game.
Wow, so it would be an extreme diss if he wasn't. I tweeted it out just for fun. at Rob there, and then Sarge was nice enough to pick up on it too. Like he's got to be in there. It would just be a huge miss. I think.
Well, one way or the other, he's gonna be in my game because they're gonna fucking download
yeah, the creative characters there.
Hold on, not to bring us back to this fucking disastrous
Stephen
road to
Bias,
WrestleMania,
baby.
but Stephen Bias,
All right.
and I already have a counterpoint, but Stephen Bias asks, so wait, if they put the belt from Seth to Cody, and Roman beats The Rock, and Survivor Series, they unify the belts with Cody going over and winning both, isn't it worth it?
Yes.
No, because Survivor Series is in fucking November.
Oh.
And it's not WrestleMania.
It's not WrestleMania.
Mania.
I mean, Survivor Series, it's
Not
cool
Mania.
marquee. Somebody mentioned, too, I think it was Dungeon, said, what if they brought back Starrcade, which was Dusty's version of WrestleMania, pretty much for WCW. What if they brought back Starrcade and he won there?
I think you're missing the point. I think you're missing the point of when Cody first came back, his promo was he's going to be the first Rhodes to win the WWE Championship. Dusty Rhodes was a multi-time World Heavyweight Champion. He's already won that title.
Gotcha.
The title that Seth Rollins has,
It's the picture of him he's holding.
he's already won.
He showed it in the intro of the show.
Yeah. So his whole story when he came back, he's like, I want to do what my dad got taken away from him. And in a match with superstar Billy Graham at Madison Square Garden, Dusty Rhodes pinned him, but they later changed it to where the time limit became a time limit draw and the time ran out. And they took the title from Dusty and gave it back to superstar Billy Graham. So Dusty Rhodes never became the WWE champion in the early 80s. And that was Cody's story, is he wants to do what his dad didn't do. He wants to main event WrestleMania, and he wants to win the WWE, specifically championship at WrestleMania. So any other scenario that you do is not what we've been feeding into this story for the last 2.5 years.
Back to the game.
You know
Back
what
to
else?
the fucking
You know what
game.
else sucks too?
Chris is
With-
fucking pissed.
With Vince gone,
Because he knows I'm right. Because he knows I'm right.
Sick. I'm not even. I don't have enough energy to be
with
pissed. I'm
Vince gone,
sad.
the problem is there's no one left to blame because he was the best person to blame for all shit like this. Oh, Vince is screwing Cody, he screwed Brett, he's screwing everybody.
Well,
Blame Triple
But
H.
you could see how quickly the power has been stripped from Triple H.
That's a
Because
good
I
point.
can guarantee you Triple H wanted Cody to be the main event at WrestleMania. But now you have this entity, you have this other brand out there that's kind of controlling the WWE, that's head of the WWE, that's a part of their
It's a
you know,
board. It's a board of
board.
directors shit
the
heel.
board director saying, hey, we
fucking
want The
boring
Rock.
corporate.
We want the big name. We want The Rock at WrestleMania. So it's been overruled.
We want
The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns.
I hope fucking
And that's what will ruin wrestling.
What?
That's why I told you it's only a matter of time before the guys who are there, like Triple H, is like, fuck this, I don't want to do anything more. And he'll end up in another promotion. You'll start to see like another upstart, maybe he'll go to AEW or something. I don't know. That show's not doing really well right now. They haven't been able to hold my interest, but
Cody going back, AEW would.
it's only a matter of time before this company, which is not a wrestling company, which is not rooted in pro wrestling like the McMahons were, it's only a matter of time before they make some stupid decisions, and they made their first stupid decision tonight.
Lose the audience.
Yeah.
They can.
Our goodwill,
What's Raw
our goodwill is
is
being stretched
constantly.
to its furthest point, and
Monday Night Raw could be definitive. They could be. I don't know. I know they can't fix it, but I'm just thinking. I don't know. There's a reason to end it
nobody
without
wants
Rock.
to see Seth and Cody again. That thing is gonna top their match in a Hell in a Cell where his
No.
fucking pek
His
was
pec is
torn off.
Yeah.
How do
That
you
was
top Hell in a Cell? How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they?
Nothing's
That's
gonna
the
top
end.
that
They
match.
can't.
No.
And then it's like, then what? Then Damian, even if he does win, who knows? They could swerve us and he loses, or he wins and then Damian Priest comes out, and then it's like, fuck you.
I could see Seth Rollins finally getting a win over Cody, and he's so beaten and hurt by the match with Cody, and Damian Priest comes out and cashes in. That's what's going to happen. It's my prediction. And that's just
Then
a bad
it's
way
like,
to.
okay, and then what? You just fucking wiped your fucking.
You wiped your Royal Rumble, which is now meaningless because having him win was pointless. Seth Rollins' entire run as champion, which he's doing a fantastic job of, is fucked. Nobody's going to pay money to see Damian Priest as the world champion.
I think he's got potential, but he's not there yet.
He's not a main eventer.
He could be a good bad guy, but they have to make changes to him.
He's not.
He can't be wearing the ring gear that he's wearing.
It's not about what he wears. It's not, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know if you picked up on it, but what he was wearing during the Royal Rumble was an homage to
Razor Ramon
and Shawn Michaels. He actually had both patterns on.
That's why he does the Razor's Edge as his finishing move.
Right.
Wait, we haven't talked.
Such a bad taste in our mouth.
We didn't bring up. I thought the match with Roman. What was it? It was like a 5-way.
The Fatal 4-Way.
It was the Fatal 4-way.
Fatal 4-way waste of time.
Well, I just thought that what's his name looked really good too. So I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know what they're
LA Knight or Randy Orton.
LA Knight now and Randy Orton. I don't know what they're doing with them, but they look pretty. They look pretty good. I mean, I watched that match. I thought it was entertaining, and I thought Orton looks fucking great.
You have so many
looks athletic as fuck.
You have so many top card guys, and
they're all fucking gonna do nothing now.
Middle card for the
Rock. Yes,
and I like The Rock, but I mean, it's like,
you don't like him now.
You've been saying they don't need him.
The Rock just left a sour taste in your mouth, dude. You're not as enthused about seeing The Rock as you would have been if it was a different scenario.
If it was last fucking or the Hollywood WrestleMania we talked about, where it was like it seemed kind of like, oh, the stars are aligning. There's going to be The Rock, who's the king of Hollywood.
I fucking said this a year ago, and all they had to do is have The Rock come out and go, Roman Reigns, you think you're the head of the table? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to take the head of the table, and the next night Cody Rhodes is going to take that championship from you. Done. That's all you had to do. Everybody gets their win. Everybody's fucking happy. And fuck Roman Reigns. He only wrestles once every fucking 3 months. You're going to wrestle all fucking weekend now, twice. So what?
Right.
Macho Man at WrestleMania 4 wrestled 4 fucking times. Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10 wrestled twice. Shut up. Damn. Daniel Bryan wrestled twice at WrestleMania 30. I don't want to hear it anymore. Like, they could have done that. That would have been the best way to keep Rock our interest there, because we do kind of want to see that, but we don't want to see that match at the expense of Cody losing his opportunity. Now that's a big fucking problem.
And honestly, I thought the CM Punk injury almost like lent itself to Cody's story, where it just kind of removed him off the board. I think there was going into it, it was a little like, muddy. It was like, oh, they got CM Punk back, and is Cody gonna face off with Punk and kind of get distracted from the Reigns thing? But Punk getting injured, it was like, oh, okay, clear the board. It's a clear path to Cody Roman, and we know kind of what to expect. Which I when I say that out loud, I go, that's not good storytelling. We're big Game of Thrones fans, and you need the hardcore. You need to hate. You need to hate the villain so much with such a fucking froth of the mouth that you just can't bear to watch it anymore. And then when they finally get theirs, you are elated. You are so fucking happy.
We're beyond that point already.
It's almost
you can only hate so long and so much until you're just like, it's a futile effort. And I'm just disengaging.
Yeah. Joffrey killed Ned. Joffrey kills Jon Snow. Joffrey kills everybody.
This is what they want. This is and fucking stop in the comment. All right, Stephen. Goddamn, I was about to say Stephen Bias no more. As I get covered by his comments here. And we're gonna move on from this fucking topic.
I told Stephen Bias to unleash hell in the comments, so let him fucking go.
She said so. Last question. I'll move on. Now that the holy shit moment has happened with The Rock coming out. With the challenge, do we get a Bautista thing starting on? Batista's done. Batista's done.
I thought he meant holy shit. Vince McMahon's like shit. I didn't know what he was talking about. Well, that's what happened when he came out and he won the Royal Rumble, right? Because they wanted Daniel Bryan. That Royal Rumble, if you remember, the crowd was chanting for Daniel Bryan the whole time, and he was not an entrant in the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And by the time they got to the point where it was painfully obvious that Batista was going to win, they shit all over it.
So the fans just need to hijack the show.
They need to hijack the show, and they will, because it's in Philly. I told you that.
Oh, that's right.
A fucking year ago.
He did say the Philly WrestleMania. The crowd is next to like Chicago. I think that was we were talking about that, and they are just
Chicago, Philly, New York, Toronto. Those are they're
not going to quiet that crowd. Even though what we were talking about before with the dull the Royal Rumble crowd, that's not going to happen in Philly because that's not how Philly operates.
I don't know. They're fucking morons. They might fucking eat up The Rock for all we know and love it. You know, they're just happy to see a star.
From the Dungeon says, what did The Rock whisper to Cody? EQ says, it's cooking. Hell says, see you later, lil bro. And Martin says, he whispered, you're a bitch, this is my show.
No, he probably gave a, hey, man, you know, you're great. You're going to be a star. I know how much this means. He probably fucking whispered all this shit. He was whispering in his ear for a minute.
How many dues does Cody have to pay? How many dues does his dad have to pay and he have to pay? And this is a legacy now of just like getting fucked
Apparently
in the
all of
ass.
them.
They just want to fuck with us. They're doing this to stir the shit pot.
They know what
I
the
don't know.
comments are popping off. The Twitter's going
I think
nuts. It's probably
it
trending.
needs to get escalated. I think it needs to get escalated so bad that they have to reverse their decision and do something similar to what I explained and do a two-nighter where it's Rock Roman and then Cody Roman. Has to happen. I don't want to see.
Conrad Thompson said, the show is sold out. Pay-per-views don't exist anymore. What are we talking about? Service your fan base or lose them. Again, those who cannot remember the past are doomed or condemned to repeat it. This, to me, you know what this reminds me of, Joe? This reminds me of almost as far as for Bret Hart fans go, where the whole Bret, Yokozuna, Hulk Hogan coming out and taking the belt at the last second. This is what this feels like to me.
Yes, but Bret finally got his day when the next year I was there. I was at WrestleMania 10 at Madison Square Garden. And that was a great swerve, too, because if you remember WrestleMania 10, the opening match was Owen Hart versus Bret Hart. So just for Rob, just to kind of roll in Rob and Vin, the 1994 Royal Rumble had two winners. There's Lex Luger and Bret Hart. The ending of the 1994 Royal Rumble, both Bret Hart and Lex Luger went over the top rope at the same time, and their feet hit the floor at the exact same time. So they were both given an opportunity to wrestle the champion at that year's WrestleMania, WrestleMania 10 at Madison Square Garden, and the champion was Yokozuna, who won the title in the previous year against Bret Hart at WrestleMania 9, but Hulk Hogan came out and politicked his way to actually take the title off of Yokozuna.
Right?
Yeah, in Vegas. And he took the title off of Yokozuna right after Yoko took it from Bret. So it was like a 1-minute match. He gave him the leg drop, brother. Go home, take my finish, and 1, 2, 3, Hogan became the champion. Yep. Fast forward to King of the Ring that year, Yokozuna beat Hulk Hogan, and we never saw Hulk Hogan again for about 11 years. And now we roll into the WrestleMania 10 the year later. Now Bret Hart has to go through the gauntlet again. He had to win the Royal Rumble. Now he has to wrestle his brother Owen first in the first ever brother versus brother match at WrestleMania, and he loses. Bret Hart lost to Owen Hart in that first opening match at WrestleMania 10, which in my opinion, still to this day, Bret versus Owen at WrestleMania 10 is the greatest opening match in the history of WrestleMania. So you had this whole deck stacked.
Here.
Hold on, you had this whole. Let me just finish. You had this whole deck stacked against Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10, where he lost at WrestleMania 9. He loses the same night he's about to, wrestle for the title, and finally in the main event, Bret Hart prevails, and he gets his flowers, and he beats Yokozuna and becomes a champion. I don't know if Cody's going to get that this year.
That's a good model. I like the sound of that because it gives the air of Cody isn't going to win. There's no chance. Or, there's definitely the problem with Cody's story is that it's what do you call that? It's when they crown the king. It's a foregone conclusion. It's a coronation.
Inevitable.
And that never really hits with an audience, especially in a wrestling sense, because we know it's staged and we know it's scripted. So it does kind of have that feeling of like, well, they have to do something to make it feel like Cody has an uphill battle, even though he overcame the injury, even though he
already
overcame
had
all
the
the
uphill
odds,
battle.
even though he overcame
the reality
all
is,
this.
very true reality is that something can Cody can get injured. He can fucking
and
fall on
he
his
can tear
head
fucking ACL.
and be paralyzed, and he'll never fucking we see how often these guys get it. He already has gotten injured.
Agreed.
So you have to fucking capitalize when the guy is healthy.
Yes.
Yes. And then Conrad did some
100%
funny
agree
shit
with
here.
that.
So somebody said Mania is going to sell out no matter what. Adding The Rock does not increase the sales. I just don't understand the logic. And Conrad said, because there isn't any. This is a vanity match. Maybe The Rock felt he needed to deliver some value for the $30 million he got last week, I guess. I don't know. Maybe his tequila will sponsor the match. I love that. Maybe his tequila will sponsor the match. He's the biggest star in the world, but this ain't what today's WWE fans wanted.
Well, and that brings
Have
up
The
a
Rock
point. Now what's the setup? The Rock loses.
He didn't even do anything to
Reigns.
earn the match. He's just
It's
The
just-
Rock. He
it's
just
just-
showed up.
It's just The Rock.
He didn't win the Rumble.
Right.
You used to have to win the You had to win Elimination
How's that
Chamber.
work?
You
How's
had
that
to
work?
win Royal Rumble, not just show up and
On
you're
The
the
Rock.
fucking Rock. So you got the main event at WrestleMania. They're
And
fucking
Cody
with us.
doesn't.
They
And
are
Cody
fucking
doesn't.
with us, and we're
Yes.
falling right for it right
Yeah,
now.
we are.
Triple H
agree.
is beating off as we're fucking over here.
He's looking
fucking
at
foaming at the
He's looking
fucking
at the
mouth.
numbers. He's looking at the internet. He's looking at the trend, and he's going, "Yeah, it worked. Fuck them.
Everybody is
They're
just
falling for it."
fucking-
Wait, who is Roddy Piper a special guest referee for? Is it for the brothers?
Red Hart
match?
versus Yokozuna at
Oh.
WrestleMania 10.
Oh, okay. So that was an EQ comment there.
All I'm seeing on Twitter is just fucking
Hell says-
vitriol over
Hell
this.
says Cody is Jon Snow. Oh man,
Seriously.
don't say shit like
but
that.
it's like too much.
I don't
so.
even don't bring up.
Jon
He's gonna
Snow
go back
had
to
a
the-
fucking
Had the best story.
had a win by now.
Had
He
the
had
best
some kind of
story,
achievement.
not Bran. Here we go. Please
Yeah,
don't.
but his
don't
story
bring up
didn't
Game
end
of
the
Thrones.
same. It didn't end that way for him. He didn't become. a
Random
king.
broken story.
Somebody find
Fucking
out Triple H's phone number.
sucks.
Find out his phone number. Call
Someone
him.
call Triple H and ask
Call
him if
him.
this is.
I don't think it's on him. I told you it's a board. It's Tony Khan, not Tony Khan, but Nick Khan, whatever the fuck. Khan your ass. It's the board that's making these decisions now. It's no longer, Vince McMahon in a room with Pat Patterson, writing the fucking script. It's this
I don't think.
huge entity that's taken over our fucking beloved wrestling,
In my opinion,
and they're
usually-
making decisions based off of.
Usually
How many-
boards, they're not worried about the nitty gritty. They're worried about the numbers. So I would push back and say that they're never really focused on that part of the business. They're not focused on the match setups. They're not
Stocks.
focused on the storyline.
Stock goes up with The Rock or Cody. I mean, what do you?
I would say the stock goes up when you're building up a new star who's selling merch, where this guy just bought like a $300 fucking signature belt, and we've seen it. We've experienced it. I have a fucking Cody Rhodes t-shirt, okay? I got like 3 shirts. It's Stone Cold, Cody Rhodes, and Hulk Hogan, all right? I'm a mainstream fucking bandwagoner, and I'm buying this shit. Phil says, I feel like The Rock is on a rehabilitation tour after
what I
Black
said.
Adam.
That's what I said. This is,
I don't think this rehabs him. This isn't rehab. This doesn't help his image. This makes him a heel more than anything. This makes
everyone
him,
start fucking
this
tweeting
makes
"fuck
him-
you" to The Rock.
This makes him.
So everyone say "fuck you" to The
This
Rock
makes
right
it
now.
where-
Already
Actually, you know what?
unfollowed him.
This makes it look like This makes it look like everyone's gonna want The Rock to lose to Roman for his 1,000th win to continue this streak, and he's the head of the table, and The Rock is, there's no more threat of The Rock. It seems like they're trying to finish Roman's story more than they're focused on Cody's. I
You know what's interesting is the fact that they didn't let them talk
sucks
tonight, even
because
though there
he
wasn't
can't
much.
talk.
Well, no, I think they didn't make him talk because I think the crowd would have booed it.
Oh, well, they were cheering The Rock coming out, but fucking
I don't know.
fucking WWE. He's got no opinion one
I
way or
got
the
no
other.
opinion. I don't give a shit about any of this.
Yeah, you know what? Already we're starting to detach. We're really people are gonna start fucking detaching.
What
from
did
this
I
shit.
fucking say 2 weeks ago? I said you're going to sour the fan base, and they're
People's
going to turn
truth.
on the product.
I was gonna
And
buy
then you
that.
put up that video, and everybody's like, "No, the company's doing great. They're riding high." No, they're not. No, they're not.
So the problem with the
Financially,
and the
they're
problem with
fucking
the-
at their highest peak of
Yes,
success.
because they're fucking extravagant amounts of money for these tickets and merchandise. When I bought my ticket for WrestleMania 20, which was in 2004, which is exactly 20 fucking years ago, I sat front fucking row at Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena for WrestleMania 20. I have the fucking chair. I can go get it if you want to see it.
Oh, I want to see it.
$760 for front row. WrestleMania, Madison Square Garden. You try to do that now,
It's 10 grand, 12
it's like
grand.
$17,000.
Oh my god.
So don't tell me they're doing better financially. They're doing better financially because they're fucking
Well, it's their
hiking
TV
these ticket
rights
prices.
deals.
And
TV
they're
rights.
gouging
It's
it
TV
like
rights
5
deals. It's the
billion.
streaming service. It's all the fucking rights that they have because people are paying for the name now. They're not paying for Hulk Hogan or Cody Rhodes or Stone Cold Steve Austin. They're paying for WWE. So it doesn't fucking matter who they put on these shows. But to Conrad's point, and to what I said to you 2 weeks ago, is if you keep fucking with us, you're going to sour the true fans who have withstood the test of time, who have stuck it out and stayed with you decade after decade. It's only a matter of time before I don't want to watch this shit anymore.
Here's an unpopular opinion, but maybe in the long run it's better off. Because to your point, you're saying that these tickets cost $17,000 to go to fucking WrestleMania. Well, maybe if the fucking fan base hit them where it hurts in the wallet, then maybe they won't start charging fucking Yankee prices. Maybe they'll start charging Long Island Duck prices to go fucking see the fucking wrestling shows. And maybe they'll have to rely more on the storytelling because they're going to piss off the fucking fan base so bad. Pendulums swing. And it's swinging in a direction nobody's happy, but it's going to have to swing back eventually.
I wasn't big into daytime soap operas, you know. I wasn't. It's like what your grandmother watched. I don't know if you guys remember those days, but
Days of Our Lives.
This is Days of Our Lives. They would always do the fucking most ridiculous, outlandish heel turn, baby, you know, and that's what the WWE is an extension of. That's, you know, part of its
They are an athletic soap opera, yes.
Right. So I will say it's funny to go from, like, let's say where we were after Royal Rumble and kind of this you know, road to WrestleMania, all of our hype going into even the episode right when it started, before we saw all this bullshit, and the temperature change to where we are right now. It's on purpose. It is intentional. I don't think they're. Again, I know what I know what you're saying.
You're right. I hope you're right.
I'm just saying it's a way to really reel us in. They're just slowly. We're on the hook. We're really we're frothing. I want to see what happens on Monday Night Raw now, because are they going to fuck it up even more? Are they going to really I just don't see a reality where The Rock is a compelling long-term story.
He's
in the WWE now.
He's a 2-month story.
He can't wrestle 10 times a month. He can't. He's 55. I don't care how good he looks. He's going to tear
one match.
Right. It's one. He as much as, you know, rehabilitating his image or something, the audience that the WWE draws isn't big enough to really rehab his image. His image is pretty fucking good. I don't care how much his movie bombed. When The Rock goes in public, people really love him. Now it's this almost, let's tease everybody. Let's get them riled up. Let's use what we have. Let's do a little, you know, distraction or, you know, a little magic. Look over here while we do this. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how we actually get back to a place where we're talking about Roman versus Cody WrestleMania, because everything that Joe has said is based in fact. But I will still hold out hope that that's what we're watching come April.
All right, well, moving on from the wrestling, the last thing I really wanted to talk about before we wrap up our episode is I wanted to wish a happy 25th anniversary to Family Guy.
Jeez.
Because they actually premiered in 1999 after the Super Bowl.
I can't believe that.
And, I mean, obviously it's changed my life in profound ways, and I never expected it because, honestly, back 25 years ago, I was not watching the show. I didn't become a fan of Family Guy until, I graduated high school in 2006. I think 2005, when I was a junior. I had this friend, Justin, and I think I've told this story. I don't think I've told this story on this show. There was this kid, Justin, I was friends with, and he was a big Family Guy fan. He had the first I think it was the first 2 seasons on DVD. And he would tell me about how funny this show was, and I would borrow 1 disc at a time during our lunch breaks. I would take a disc from him, and then go home, binge watch the entire thing, and then bring swap it for another disc. And that was my introduction to Family Guy, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. And then when they brought it back on the air, of course I started watching it then, and I never thought of myself as Peter Griffin because it's kind of funny. We had a priest at one of the local churches that actually looked more like Peter Griffin than I do. And we used to call him Father Peter Griffin. And we always laughed that, like, if they ever made an action figure of Peter Griffin dressed like a priest, we would have had to buy it. But
The irony.
I told the story a million times, but I went to New York Comic Con in 2012 with some friends, cosplayed as Western Ghost Rider, and was severely uncomfortable, to say the least. And decided to don the green pants and the white shirt for the first time, and it's been good to me. I've been doing this for 11 years and change. I've gotten to meet a whole lot of cool people and go a lot of cool places and experience things that I definitely would not have experienced otherwise, because I was very much a introverted kind of guy. I really didn't like go out and do shit like that. So I took that chance that one time, and you never know. You never know how it's gonna change your whole world. It's
Family Guy came about when I was like in between, middle school, high school. And it was at the time so edgy. The things they were saying, it was so shocking. The things they would make fun of. I just remember it would be like something you had to watch on Sunday night, because Monday in class we'd be fucking laughing our asses about it. It was way
The
funnier
shit that Stewie used to say to his mother would crack me up.
Oh.
Go put on wheels on the
vile
bus
woman.
and get out of my face.
And then I remember it got canceled. I remember
Yeah.
Fox took it off the air.
And
was
then,
so disappointing.
I want to chime in here too. My good friend Jeremy had the DVDs.
Yes.
And we used to fucking rewatch it was like 3 or 4 seasons before they got canceled. We rewatched them over and over and over. And then they were on like Adult Swim on Cartoon Network. And that had such high viewership, and so many people were watching it after the fact. Same thing with Futurama, that they brought it back.
They had to bring
It's
it
just
back.
crazy. And I remember when it was like Family Guy is coming back, and it was like on the radio station. They were like, it was like they were like previewing it over the radio.
There's a huge petition for it to go to HBO at some point too.
It was the first show to ever get canceled twice and brought back.
Twice.
Twice.
What was the?
So I think it was like 2 or 3 seasons, and then it got canceled. And then the Adult Swim kind of brought it back, and I think they got canceled again. And then they got brought back again. Like they got revived like twice.
I think I remember that. Phil did say Family Guy was a big DVD era show before you had brought up that fact. I have the first, I want to say 3 to 5 seasons on DVD still. And we would watch it repetitively when I was in high school. We would put it on. We'd be, smoking weed.
Those
and
first
shit.
Go swallow the stuff under the sink.
It would just be it was so. First the jokes.
Show me
And-
potato salad. That line was everybody was quoting that in freaking middle
Good
school.
news,
high school.
Flappy. I've decided not to kill you today. These pancakes are better than sex.
I want an ice cream cone, no sprinkles. For every sprinkle I find, I shall kill you.
Get your fat ass back here.
Get your fat ass back here.
Oh, Rob had Joe in stitches. My cousin Joe. Sorry.
It's the
other-
whistling.
It's
that's
the
really-
whistle, bro.
that's-
Rob has it down.
Now you're starting to piss me off.
And
But
it's
like every character like had me in stitches. And what's really funny is like I remember being like a little kid and I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons because they were pushing the boundaries of like the
In the
80s, like,
yeah.
minded people. And then Family Guy came out and like it made The Simpsons like you might as well be watching
Look like the,
Nickelodeon. It was
look like the
hysterical.
Brady Bunch.
And
it-
I'm a big fan of the show. Obviously, I mean, I did become the real life Peter Griffin.
Have you
but-
been watching newer episodes though?
So I've been catching up. I dropped off for many years, and I picked up where I left off on. What the hell am I watching on Hulu? I think I'm watching it on Hulu. Yeah, and I think I'm on like season 17 now, which ironically is the season that they mentioned me in. So
Oh
I'm
my
catching
God.
up.
There was a point where people kind of complained that like the quality of the show slipped a little bit because it became like
It
so
did.
randomly, like it was like they were just picking random things and
I think
putting
I'm
them
in the
together.
middle of that kind of shitty area.
But it came
too.
back from that.
It did.
They had
So
a lot
I've
of
heard,
criticism.
Like, a lot of like the last couple, maybe 2 or 3 seasons, like they've been really
More
like,
story.
hysterical. But like I watched an episode where it was Stewie in a therapy office talking to one guy like the whole time, and I'm like, that was the first
Got some
time I ever
insightful
watched
episodes.
a Family Guy episode and I actually skipped the episode. I was like, I'm not even enjoying this.
I mean, 25 years. You know, you're gonna have some misses.
Of course,
We're gonna have some-
and,
Like
you know,
every episode of this show has been good.
yeah, right. Every single one.
We barely got this
Especially
one
with our
going.
Audio issues.
Especially the Batman episode.
We almost had to cancel.
Ouch. Ouch. Ooh,
You know,
deep into that one.
the Family Guy's not the only show to have a 25-year anniversary recently. There's another show that started in 1999.
Was
that
it?
has 25 years?
Was it the same day? Did I read that right? Did these two shows
Same month.
debut?
Same month.
Was it the same Sunday or was it the same month?
It was the same month.
Okay. You're talking about The Sopranos.
All
Yeah,
due
right.
respect, you have no fucking idea what it's like to be number one.
Give me some sill.
All due respect, Dave. Some of the guys, where they been? And they're represented.
Maybe you know what?
I
Maybe
was out.
when we can all get back
Pull me
together
back
again.
in.
'Cause obviously, we won't all be together next week, but maybe. Fucking, since we're so disgusted with
I just
the
want to do a
wrestling
hunt.
scene
I
right
want.
now,
I
let's
don't
just do
even
another
want to.
Sopranos episode.
If we do, we
We'll
have
do
to have
Sopranos
Yao on
episode.
because Yao was very upset.
Yao
He
was-
doesn't even join the chat, doesn't watch the show anymore because we didn't have him on for the last Sopranos episode.
So Rob's gonna unfriend him again. Don't worry.
He was
It's a sad-
super. He was very offended. You guys didn't even have me on. I was like, I didn't know he wanted to be on. I didn't realize. You know. But he is
We got
a.
4 spots.
Yao is a. First of all, Yao got Chris to play Fortnite technically because the Yaos did for us.
Don't give him that
Yeah.
credit. You
Wait,
can-
Chris,
Well,
is
now,
he played
actually,
Fortnite more
did you
than
notice
once?
Yao is now taking credit for Yao?
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
before, for like the last 10 years, he would completely shun when we call him
he
Yao.
wasn't, yeah.
Yeah. No, now
Now
I
he
saw he
embraces
owns the
the
word.
Yao.
Yeah, he's embracing the Yao. But yes, I think we should do. I think
Just,
it'd be
I
a
need
very,
a, I need a fucking break. I'm
yes,
disgusted.
let's do,
I
let's
feel
do
in my
Sopranos.
stomach sick.
Sam started. My girlfriend Sam started watching Sopranos.
My girlfriend's watching
Can't
it too. We
Fucking
just finished
believe
the
it.
first season.
We've been
Finished the
dating
first
for,
season.
5+ years, and she would be like, "No, I'm never gonna watch it." And I'd be like, "You gotta watch it."
Where are
It's
you
one of the
at?
best shows.
Where's she at?
She's
What
on.
episode?
She's on season 4.
Ooh,
She's
way
just
ahead
like
of us.
trucking through the show, and I'm
gonna start
catching up.
season 2
It's like pretty
tomorrow
quick to
night.
get through.
And then she asks me crazy questions like, "How do you know like what they're gonna say?" And I have to tell her, I've watched
So many
The
times.
Sopranos annually, front to back, since season 3, 4. Since there was on-demand HBO, pre-streaming, pre-HBO Go,
Yeah.
we had Cablevision with the on-demand feature. I would relentlessly watch The Sopranos. It was a
I used to wait
religious-
online at my Suncoast when they would do the DVD box set releases for
I
the
miss
seasons.
Suncoast videos.
I have
Listen,
all of them.
I ended
I
up
have
in the
all of 'em.
hospital for a week when I was 18. I had a collapsed lung, sports thing, and guess what my dad got? And it was on my 18th birthday. Guess what my dad got me for my birthday?
Sopranos
Season
one?
3 box set.
Season 3.
Bang! Watched it on my my new. I had a iBook from Apple back then, and that got me through it.
I don't know if we could do another Sopranos episode. We already did one, and it was pretty
Major
I
good.
gotta
Vegan
watch it. All right, so here's the thing: we gotta watch it back. Look for some.
I
things.
almost want my girlfriend to finish and your girlfriend to finish and let them do their own podcast about it. We'll just take a break.
So what? No
Might as well
fucking
just-
Zeke now?
We'll just get their opinions and bring them on here. I think The Sopranos deserves 2 episodes. I think I've watched it so much. There's just no way to get around that.
I just need a break from talking about wrestling, and
Yeah.
I want to go.
Yeah,
I want to get
no,
out
me
of the
too.
house, and I want
I'm
to do
ready to
something.
go.
We haven't done a hunt in I don't know how long. Like we've been
Yeah,
talking about
weather's-
going out and doing
weather's gonna
something.
break. We need the weather to break, dude. Sucks out. Sucks
Yeah.
ass out today. Today
Yeah.
sucked.
Yeah, it's chilly.
Groundhog Day. It's gonna be fucking
It's
spring soon.
super early spring.
Yeah.
I'll
Who
take it.
knows? We're at, what? I'm
WrestleMania
fucking
time.
done talking about wrestling for a while. Unless they fucking pull
That's
us
it.
out of this fucking
Do you
dead
see?
end that they're
Do you
driving us
see?
into.
It took Chris right out of it. I told you.
See,
Well,
it's
you
a
know,
No,
sin.
because you
It's a
know
sin.
what? We
told you.
live streamed.
I
Our
told you.
reactions were live during WrestleMania when Cody lost, and you saw that. It was just like we felt like they fucking
I have it clipped.
wiped their linty fucking dick on our fucking face. That's how we felt when we watched that. But then we're like,
Joe?
okay, we'll give it time. They'll get us next year. And if they're gonna fucking do that to me again, I'm just like, no, I refuse.
I've never seen Joe so defeated. Joe's face in that moment, it just.
Joe is almost
Joe's
as mad
not the
as he
type
is
to.
now.
Joe's not the type to get that way. He doesn't get that way. His face. I watched it back, and when I was cutting the clip, it was just like, absolute defeat. It was just so like, this is the most disappointing thing to ever happen, ever.
We just cut the show to black like the Sopranos. That was the
I
joke.
Did, I
We're
did
like, just cut
say
it to
yeah.
black.
I did say that day though that they're doing Rocky 1, Rocky 2. And I did think that this year we were going to get Rocky 2.
Yeah, well,
To
apparently
the
we
point
got
of
fucking
the-
Fonzie jumping the shark.
And now we're not going to what we're getting. We're getting
We're getting the
shit
what,
on
what
the
is
know.
an
Carl
obvious
Weathers
byproduct
died.
of a bunch of injuries.
Today sucked. Carl
Today
Weathers
sucks.
actually died. It was
George R. Martin put out a fucking statement that just talks about the world going to shit. The world's going to shit. You know, everything's fucked. But while we're talking, I do want to take a minute to plug that tomorrow will be just another day in the life of the GTA Valet, because this time we're going to be doing a live stream.
Hey.
So for all the people that have started following because of the GTA Valet stuff, greatly appreciate that. Having a lot of fun with that. What we've been doing now, Rob has been doing his stream on Wednesdays with the Fortnite stuff. We're trying to do a co-stream. Next time, maybe I'll record it so that you can get Rob's audio.
Fuck
but,
you.
You know, we'll do
It's my
that.
fault.
We'll do that. But Saturdays, I'm going to try to turn into the day of streaming, you know, of my stream. So maybe some GTA Valet stream tomorrow. Just another day in the life.
Of the fucking cough. Everybody loves the cough. It's the biggest, most commented thing I've ever seen. The
Yeah,
Cough
my
is
buddy
over.
James actually hit me up, and he was like, "Your friend is like hilarious." We're watching him do the valet thing, and
Cough is over, bro.
It's always
you need to
been
put it on a t-shirt.
It's a secret weapon. I swear,
T-shirt.
Chris's GTA skills are unmatched. We've been talking about it for years. We've been talking about we were going to do a whole GTA podcast that we filmed inside of GTA because the characters' mouths move, and I have a full demo and pilot of that. I think it's just something that Chris has had in his back pocket, and I'm so glad that people are really enjoying it because I've sat there
Having a lot of fun.
back in the day in Chris's room.
you guys
watching
even made
him.
that casino scene with the characters in the desert.
I did the whole
we'll
I
repost
cut that.
soon.
I cut that in original GTA Online. That's
Yeah,
from
360.
360. Is it? No, it's PS4 because I was recording to the PS4 though.
Really?
Yeah, because I was extracting those captures from the PS4. But it's just early ass days of Grand Theft Auto. No director, editor, none of that, and that shit came out pretty funny. So
We love GTA. There's a lot of opportunity for random, crazy, funny things to happen on a stream. So, yeah, I'll suit up in the valet outfit, and I'm going to try to get a stream in tomorrow. It'll probably all go to shit.
Everything
but,
fails.
We'll
Streaming
see.
so hard.
That's why we called this episode the Struggle Bus. This episode almost didn't happen today. We had all kinds of
Almost.
fucking problems. My fucking computer's failing me. Fucking WWE's failing me. Vince McMahon's failing us. The fucking goddamn it.
Weathers
End the
died.
episode. Carl Weathers is dead. Fucking
What
rest
kind
in
of
peace.
day
What a
is-
great
Our
actor.
pets' heads are falling off.
I never want to. I don't want to miss anybody's comment here. I just so Hell says I became a fan after they brought it back. Family Guy. They would shit talk Fox for being dumb enough to cancel it. That was always funny. That was
Yeah.
a stone cold Vince McMahon kind of moment there.
Huh?
Stephen Bias says I lucked into Family Guy and watched episode 1. Was a huge Norm McDonald fan. Still am.
Played death.
Wait, death, yep.
Had no idea anything about it. What a great story of getting canceled and coming back and being how big it is. From the Dungeon said, bro, I used to hate The Sopranos because of all the hype. But then 2020 hit and I watched it. It's one of the greatest shows of all time.
It is the greatest show of all time.
It deserves the hype. It's very rare that something lives up to hype. We've spoken about it on the podcast, how hype is the number one killer. It was on my top 10 list of things that I hate. Hype kills things sometimes, but, you know, Sopranos earned its hype. It lived up to all of it. You know,
Sure shit did.
unbeaten. Was that a square, like, I'm trying to remember, was like the first season like HBO? Because I remember Oz, like if I rewatched Oz, it was like
Yes, it
not
was.
widescreen, it was a square because TVs used to be square, not rectangular,
It was.
right?
Sopranos was like
How did they
remastered.
fix that? They like had
they
old
just go back to the
footage, or-
original footage and they I believe they reprocess it because the footage itself is high quality, but it was just to broadcast it over fucking what we used to have. It was impossible. They couldn't, broadcast that kind of quality that you would see in a movie theater.
You know, I said I've been watching The Sopranos with my girlfriend, and we just finished season 1. They did clean it up a lot. It looks really good on HBO Max or Max, whatever the fuck you want to call it, as opposed to popping in like my DVDs from Stone Age.
Yeah.
It's all full screen. It's all stretched out. It looks like shit. But they cleaned up the show. The resolution of it is really good. Even the first season, which is 25 years old, they did a good job. It looks very good.
Definitely.
While we were on the games too, because we are trying to wrap it up, because my fucking head hurts from everything that just happened tonight.
You're screaming all day.
What a day.
But finally got these guys to play Chivalry 2.
Right.
Vin and Little Joe have finally played Chivalry 2.
Having fun.
And you guys liked it.
I have fun. It's like the camaraderie is 50% of any good multiplayer game. It's not something I'm necessarily gonna dive into alone. But if the boys are on and we're charging in the battle, it's kick ass. You're beating the shit out of people with melee weapons. Shield, block, parry. It's fun. It's what is it? It's very you just respawn quick. So if you die, you're back. You die, you're back. There's not a lot of
spawn die.
Right. It's like that. You're in war. You're charging on objectives or you're defending. Again, it's all medieval. It's Game of Thrones. I picture it every time I'm playing. It's like, I'm in Game of Thrones right now. This is a Game of Thrones battle.
I actually played a game tonight that I haven't touched in like a year and a half. I played one while we were waiting for it to get set up. I played one big team battle match of Halo Infinite. It's actually pretty good.
Hey, I'm ready to come back to Halo whenever you're ready.
I'm in because what I played, they have the DMR back, they have abilities back, so it's kind of like Halo 3 where you can throw down a bubble, you can throw down invis, you can throw down a distraction, you can throw down a healing thing that heals and generates your shield as you're staying in it. So they threw a lot of elements into Halo 3 into this game, and it feels completely different. And there's tons of new levels.
Ooh,
I didn't realize how many new levels they put in this game. So new levels, new weapons, new everything. It's good.
Another thing I will say, I scooped the new Tekken, and
somebody asked about that earlier.
I played a few rounds of that, and it visually is stellar. I'd say the graphics are on par with the new Street Fighter game.
You know what fucking sucks? That goddamn fucking Suicide Squad game. Trash.
I heard it was shit. Yeah.
I heard that it actually wasn't as bad as people were saying it was going to be.
Trash. Horrendous.
Somebody in the chat said it as well. They said they got it, and I'm like, why?
I read
the new Tekken's sick. I played a few rounds with a few different characters. And
Suicide Squad got a 5 from IGN, which is horrible. They don't ever give out that low scores to anything. And I was looking at like a gameplay, like graphics comparison from Suicide Squad, which is a next-gen game on PS5, Xbox Series X, to Arkham City, which is a last-gen game. And Arkham City looks way better than Suicide Squad. Like, it's not even fucking close.
What's interesting is the founders of Rocksteady left. They went to go start something new.
Well, it shows because they made 2 fucking games and both of them are fucking the drizzling shits.
Yep, I think that's a sign that Rocksteady is not what it used to be.
It's a wrap.
I wanted to get back to Tekken, Rob. You bought Tekken?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you're gonna play it enough to get your money's worth for like a $60 game or whatever?
I like to go back to Tekken. I do enjoy. I feel like I go back to play Tekken more than I do Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat I play 99% for the story, whereas Tekken I enjoy the combat more. I've been playing Tekken since Tekken 2 on the original PlayStation. It was the first one that I started with, and through the years I've kept up with the Tekken series because I love the characters. I love King. I love Paul, and there's so many great characters, Li Fang, and I was playing as a few of them last night, and it's very satisfying. It feels like the old combat system, but updated. That's
right.
What's fun about it. It's not like they completely uphauled the game and it's completely different now. Now feels like Tekken. When you're playing Tekken, when the moves are slower and they hit heavier, but you can get combos in that are fucking disgusting, and rewards button mashing, which I enjoy.
I'm very partial to Soul Calibur. I always like Soul Calibur best out of the fighting games. I don't know why.
I had fun with Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive was fantastic too.
You didn't have fun with Dead or Alive. You had fun looking at Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive was
you
like
had,
the
you
first
had fun
game
with
I played
Dead or
as a
Alive.
smart
You know how smart it was? It was like super smart.
Yeah, my dad liked Dead or Alive. You know?
That shit was always
She
weird to
looks
me. I thought
smart.
video game tits were always strange. Like they were just like,
Yeah,
here's
that was
jiggling
hilarious.
polygons.
If anybody,
Tits.
if anybody
Everything
nailed
do
it,
anything.
it was them. That's what they were concentrated on the most.
It's like the fucking.
This is gonna
gelatin.
sell this game.
It's like we're gonna give you a 6 out of 10 fighting game, but make it a 9 out of 10 with bouncing tits. That's what they did.
That was the first game on PS2 that I got. It really, like when PS2 first came out, I remember we were all gathered around it. You know.
Nobody's still talking about Battle Arena Toshiden. You know what I mean?
Rob, take us
boy.
home. Take us home.
One last shout out I
Jeez.
wanted to give before we
It's
wrap
midnight.
the show is good friend of the show, Rip and Ship Arena or Rip and Ship Gaming has officially moved locations.
What?
Oh, good.
So now they're next to the Crazy Billy on Deer Park
That's
Avenue.
the
Billy!
irony of that.
They took over that space that used
My
to be part of
girlfriend's
Billy's.
mom has
Nice.
a hair
It's a
salon
huge
over there.
space. I saw a picture. He invited us down. They did a soft open tonight. So if we want to,
Wait a second. It's not
visit
where the
it's
old.
next to
In
Crazy
between the
Billy.
It's
spa,
not where Cousin Comic City used to be.
No,
no,
no, that's further down.
Crazy Billy's, the spa, and there's a little spot that used to be Crazy Billy's,
Yeah,
which is now Rip and Ship Arena.
But
I
they're
used to
over
work
there.
there for like, I don't know, almost like 8 years, 7 years. I want to say I worked at
Wow,
Crazy
that long,
Billy's.
huh? Shit.
Pretty sure it was that long.
Yeah.
I can't even remember, honestly.
But you know they're good to the show. They've
given us some
donated
cards to
cards
open
and
in the
stuff
past.
before.
Joe's a great guy.
Want to congratulate
49ers.
them on their move, and we'll definitely go visit them soon.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for tuning in to the Break Room Podcast. If
And
you're
tune
new
in
to the
tomorrow.
show, if you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification button so you know when we're going live. Please tell your friends, spread the word, the Break Room Podcast. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Break Room Podcast. Snoochie Boochies, and may the force be with you.